with me. Sit us with me. Oh, with me. King, such fun. Jump with me. Sit us with me. Jump, oh, with me.
Great big hit on play. Lecture on. Great big hit on play. Music and good vibes. Great big hit on play. Lecture on. Great big hit on play. Music each day.
Jump with me. Sit us with me. Oh, with me. King, such fun. With me. One sit us with me. Jump, oh, with me.
On play. Lecture on. On play. Music each day is a dub. It's just to on play. Lecture on. Just to on play. Music each day useful and fun. I think we got it.
When green,
My song.
dee-dee-doo, doo-doo, big bird,
Just
Great time on Sesame Street.
also
pepper, wonder, two, and two.
P-O-G.
His bird on play. His bird His bird on play. Music
Each day
is a dub. It's his bird on play. His bird His bird on play. Music
each day
is a dub.
it's
Well, hello, everyone. Excuse me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Darachat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dare for short, because some people still have the audacity to say Daramouthe. I know you're making fun of me, but I'm watching you. But anyway, yes, welcome to another one. Of course, I get to be joined by, do you say, how do you say it, Dammy or Dami?
Damie. Like
Damie?
day me. Yeah.
Damie? That sounds a little too close to date me at that point. I'm a little. You say date me? No, Damie. Damie.
Yeah,
I,
Damie.
I get it. You want me to date you. I understand it. No.
Yeah, just too many people stumble over Damysus, so I just people default to Damie. Makes it a lot easier.
If you had made it Damascus, it probably wouldn't have been so much, you know.
Yeah, that's
Damascus. It's got that s at the end.
Yep.
What's his name? Damascus. That's easy. But anyway, but yeah, thank you for coming on. I know it's kind of a weird thing when someone asks you to, hey, would you like to come on my show? And they're like, what is the show? And you're just like, I don't know if I should join this thing or not. But no, yeah, I'm glad
No.
to have you on. It's real simple. It's real easy. Usually, this funny thing is when there are people who are like they're like nervous or whatever, right? I'm usually or they. I've come across people who are like, I don't know what I would say, don't know if I'd have anything worth saying, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, well, if you can answer what color the sky is, I think you're good to go, right? Because that's where it kind of just trips them, like that's the easiest thing to answer, and it's like it's that easy. It's that easy.
It's that easy. Fair enough. I think I can handle
It's
that.
like
I
the
think I can handle
old.
that.
It's like the what is it? It's like the old. There used to be like an Earth infomercial back in the day. It was like this like toaster oven or something, but the guy would always say, "Set it and forget it," and I'm like, sure. That may be a hard one for him. Oh,
That's my wife.
uh-oh.
She's watching.
Is that that's the missus? Oh well, goodness sake. If
Mrs.
she says
Damie.
that's a hard one, I will listen. Hey, Bob, how are you? But yeah, it's it. Oh, I know what she's referencing now. I was like, was she saying that too? I was like, oh, the question I said earlier. Hey, I understand some people, it's all right
Yep.
if they say if if they say purple, Mrs. Damie, well, that one's pretty good to say. Well, thank you for joining us, Miss Damien.
Yes.
Also, YouTube out.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, it's basically it. But I mean, what's a simpler question would be like, how long you been here on Rumble?
So for me, I actually been on
Oh, I'm
Rumble
guess
since
I'm guessing there might be a delay on your end.
yeah. So probably I think I signed up for Rumble in
Oh, yep.
2019.
I think there might be a bit of a delay. Yep.
Should I refresh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Give me a sec.
Because I know that. Like how long have you been on Rumble? Was the question.
Yeah, I've been on
Mm.
Rumble since 2019, but I just started streaming in December,
Uh,
so I've been on for quite a while. But new to streaming, new to content creation, maybe 6 months, 7 months. Just something that I felt like would be a fun
No,
hobby.
yeah, there's a bit of delay because it seems like okay.
All right, let me refresh.
Mm. Oh, where'd he go? And he's back. I think. There he is.
Maybe that's
There
better.
he is. Welcome back. There you go.
All right. Um,
Well,
so
okay. Well, I mean, I know there's a bit of a delay. I'm not sure um whose end. It could be just my internet. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Um, yeah, like I was saying, I mean, it's just I hopped over to Rumble mainly because of Dan Bongino. I've been listening to him for years, and then when he
Mm,
lost his skirt when it came to Parlor and getting banned on YouTube and basically shadow banned on Facebook,
mm,
he hopped over to Rumble with Chris, and I've been listening to him on here for years, and then in December, I just kind of talked to my wife and I was like, might get into gaming online and kind of stream it just as a hobby because I thought it'd be fun. And I
mm,
didn't know what to expect. And here I am. We're almost through May and
mhm.
Rumble's taken off for me, and it's been a blessing for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome because I know a lot of people are coming here for different reasons, like you for Dan Bongino and there's other people as well. But are you I don't know, but are you in the creator program or no?
Yes, I started the creative program last month. This is my second month, so
Oh,
I
I don't know if
missed
you
the
heard me or not.
cutoff. Yeah, there's still a delay.
Mm.
Um, but yes, I am in the creative program. I've been there this will be my second month. I didn't make the cut for the first month. I was short on time, but um, I'm rocking and rolling in it now. I think it's great. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome because I've only been in it since when it first came out, and obviously the things have kind of changed over time for like requirements and stuff. But I'm
Yep.
always interested to hear people's perspective about uh, their what's a good way of saying it? I'm always interested in hearing people's perspective about them being in it and their experience of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, for me, it's interesting because last month I crushed my hours in the first like
Uh,
3 weeks, right? And it was
can you
super,
share me?
super. Mhm. Um,
Oh
so
yeah.
but this month I
Mm,
for viewing hours I'm down a
yeah.
lot. So
There's a bit of
it's
a
just
delay.
um the amount of hours I've streamed hasn't quite equated to hours watched yet. But so I mean we've got a couple weeks left in the month. So hopefully we can get through it. But I mean with the
Mm,
requirements themselves, I think it's good to have some sort of bar to gauge performance and stuff. It's a good way to keep yourself in line. know where you're at, and then where you need to pick up, basically, and try to strive to accomplish more. And so with that in place, it really kind of keeps my focus where I need to be when it comes to my content.
Yeah. 1 second.
You're good.
Yeah. Enter. Search for internet or Rumble Studio. So, apologies. All the same. There we go. I wonder how quick that will be. Yeah, if you can see that quicker than you can hear me, then that means it must be within Rumble Studio that the issue is lying with.
Yeah, because I mean that was pretty quick. When well, as you were typing that and talking it and hit enter, it came right up.
Okay, right. It's just the auditorial is like seconds behind for some odd reason. So, but no, that's pretty awesome. I mean, I only got into it because I wanted to see about it. To be honest with you, I can grow with or without it. It's just wanting to see what I could do with it, more or less. Because I stream to both. Is the audio is delayed from the text? What? The audio is delayed from the text? I don't. now my mind's hurting. But no, I just wanted to try it out for what it is, because who knows what other requirements they'll bring up. So it's possible that like you were talking about, the required text came before my bad. No, you're all right. We're getting there. We're like some old codgers on the internet, like dealing with internet problems. You run all that stuff. Remember back in the day when dial-up was a thing, and that was even worse.
Oh, tell me
good
about
Lord,
it.
that was fun times. Get off the phone! Hey, DJ. I remember when Hey, Endo, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Nice to see you, sir. I remember when my mom had been off work and we were at home and we were on the internet back in the dial-up days. And my mom came home angry and was like, I've been trying to call you guys back all day. I was like, oh. we were on the internet.
I was on the internet.
Yeah, you're not going to hear any. Nowadays, it's not an issue, but back then it was atrocious.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Duct Tape.
Hey, how's it going, Duct Tape?
But yeah, it was atrocious back in the day when you had dial-up and things took too long to load up. You could only either be on the internet or making a phone call. And that was the worst part about it, is if you had a family emergency, it was not going to be a good time.
No, and now we get mad when our videos don't download in 5 minutes, or a game doesn't download in 10 minutes. You know,
the days of dial-up. Although when the internet is not running as it should, that's when you know it's not a great time, as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you're back in the days of dial-up.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Talk about Amico already?
Yeah, it's a weird. We've been spoiled, basically. We've been really spoiled with how fast things are, especially in your phone, right? Like, your phone is like 5G or whatever.
Yep. And it downloads super fast.
It's one of those ordeals where you're just kind of still I had to use my phone hotspot today because mine went down. I had to wait like 2 minutes for pages to open. Was the worst. Well, I'm starting to experience that now with my end of things. Huh?
I said, "Oh man, talk about having to live off your
I'm
hotspot."
experiencing that now, Innuendo. The delay of auditorial is there, but we're gonna work to do it. But
Yeah,
did you have like a storm or something, Innuendo, or was it something else? Because there were some pretty there were some pretty nasty storms over the weekend, as far as I heard.
yeah, they were.
Um, um, let's see. I am. Oh, they were doing maintenance in the area. Of course.
That's never fun.
Oh, about his hotspot.
Yeah, I was just saying that I would hate to have to live off my hotspot.
It's gonna be fun. All right. Oh goodness. All right. I need to do something with this real quick. Okay.
You got it.
Give me. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you give me a few moments because I need to do something real quick. I'll be right back.
All right,
All right.
you
Hold
got
on.
it.
Hold on. There we go. Okay.
My night's going good. Innuendo, it's going good. Streamed a bit earlier. Got the maintenance, the exhaust on my car done. Helped my wife ship some stuff out. So everything's. It was a good day. Good day. Kids are home. They're in bed. So how's your day going?
All right.
Yes, that is a Helldivers banner in the background. That is Super Earth.
Oh, okay. How am I now?
You're good.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere at least. Okay, so getting all the way out and then coming back in.
Ah.
Either because that delay was atrocious. Dear Lord, was it bad? It was sort of like it's like the old days of the Indians. You have a smoke signal and it take a few minutes. Like
Yeah, they're sending you a carrier pigeon with the note on it.
it'd probably be a lot faster than this at this point. Oh my goodness! Hey, Furious Dan, thank you, sir. I hope you're doing well, good sir. Hell Divers, yeah, I didn't. Hell Divers is still pretty popular.
Yes, it is very popular,
Oh my
and it's
goodness.
gaining a lot of steam right now too.
Yeah, but what's that one game that's out there right now that's gaining a lot of steam? Isn't it that Claire?
Yeah,
Oh,
the one I've been playing and streaming is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It's
oh yeah.
probably one of the best. See, I'm not a turn-based type of game player at all. I haven't played anything like that since Final Fantasy VII. I mean, we're talking, what, 15, 20 years ago when that game came out? And I jumped in on it because it just looked fantastic. I mean, the graphics, the audio. I watched a couple people on Rumble play through the first probably couple hours of the game, and it just had me hooked from the story. So I figured I'd give it a shot. And man, that is one heck of a game.
Yeah, I know some people are liking it, but I do know, I do know once the what is that game? So I know once Stellar Blade comes out, that'll be everyone's favorite game.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot about the game itself. Like, I don't know much about that game, but I see a lot of people talking about it. And I guess, and there was some issues with what do they call it? The areas where the game can be allowed to play. Like, Helldivers went through this when it first released. Sony like banned a bunch of countries for
Oh
whatever
yeah.
reason. And I saw a few people talking about that they prepaid for the game and now they can't even get it because it's banned in their country because of rights or something like that. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, I think the other issue too was that you'd have to have a PlayStation account in order to play the game, which was another issue as well.
Yes, and luckily on Helldivers they got rid of that
Thank goodness.
shortly after. the release, and there was a lot of backlash about that because a lot of the PC players did not want to actually register for a PlayStation account. So
Yeah.
luckily they got rid of that requirement, and they've lifted the ban on several of the countries that Helldivers was previously banned in. So
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't just Helldivers. I think it was also the what was it? God of War Ragnarok was another one where you had to have an account in order to play it, which was dumb in itself.
yes,
It,
I
it,
agree to that.
and it's another thing too is like some of these I believe it was God of War as well, but for like Stellar Blade, the exclusive thing, right? Like these
Yeah,
games,
the exclusivity.
yeah, these games get paid. Oh, they get paid an amount by Sony, but they get paid to be exclusive for like a year to the platform, and it's just like that happened with Rebirth. Yeah,
Okay.
that would happen with Rebirth, where it was like for a year on PlayStation, but it was like then they were. I think there was at one point they're like, well, didn't sell very well, whatever. It's like, but yeah, at a certain point, you can't just be exclusive to a platform anymore at that regard. Um,
I know, especially this day and age where there's so many people that want to play the game, but they don't want to shell out $500 just for a console for one game, right?
mm-mm,
Now, I mean, shit, you're talking Xbox $750 for the top, their Xbox Series X, which is absolutely insane. And so the exclusives, I think if you're talking like 10, 15 years ago, yeah, I think exclusive titles sell consoles. But in this day and age now where there's so much capability across platform,
mm-hmm,
um, handheld devices, I mean, you get the Steam Deck, you get all sorts of other manufacturers, Asus and all those guys making handheld gaming PCs basically, where the exclusive title aspect of it is kind of lost its little lackluster.
mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because again, you're not on. You're not. You can't just be on one. I don't care how rich PlayStation is. You can't just be on one exclusive to one console. I get why they did it though, because they pay
Hmm.
a huge money amount up front, right? You know, it's just like
Yep.
the starter fees or whatever. But at the end of the day, they're stuck to whatever PlayStation gives them. And you have so many options with now obviously each platform has its own optimizations and all that stuff. So there's a
Yep.
headache there. But if you're talking just like between PlayStation and PC, I mean you've already taken up a big huge portion of the cake.
Yes,
Um
for
and I
sure.
don't and oh thank you, Neuro. And I don't understand why that's still a thing now for the exclusivity because here's an example for gaming platform stuff. There's no reason there should be an exclusivity anymore unless it's like huge amount of sums, like ungodly amount of sums of money. Like no way.
Yes.
But if say you were a content creator, then being paid for exclusivity makes sense as long as you're
Yeah.
being paid well.
I completely understand that aspect of it. I mean, as a content creator on that point, I mean, if you're exclusive to one platform, you should be given the opportunity to earn the money to make that I guess fruitful in a sense,
Mm,
because the ability, like we were using Rumble Studio right now, you can multi-stream a ton of different platforms, right?
mm,
And if you're locked in as a exclusive to one platform, you should be paid accordingly. So because you're limiting that person's ability to propagate their content out through other platforms, because there's
yeah.
so many out there now.
Oh god, oh gosh, beyond Twitch and YouTube, there's Kick, there's a platform out there called Noise.
Noise, really?
Noise.
My
You
son
can
runs around saying that crap.
you can look it up too. It's out there.
Okay.
You've got uh, you've let's see what other ones you got. You got Honest, you got BitChute, you got all these other ones. Again, it's just there he goes. Innuendo segment. It
Noise.
noise and party. That's right. Party's out there too. I forgot
Wow.
about party. But at the end of the day, though, you kind of don't want to run yourself. TikTok, yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
But you don't want to.
Right.
You don't want to run yourself ragged because at the end of the day, I was when I was doing my pay it forward stream, we were passing who I
Mhm.
was with, we were passing somebody, and they said they were on a D Live. That's true, and they said they were on 11 platforms.
That's insane. I can't even keep my mind wrapped around doing Twitch and YouTube and
Mm,
Rumble. So I made the decision a couple months ago just to kind of hang with Rumble because I wasn't getting it, zero traction on YouTube.
mm,
I was streaming the same amount of hours, multi-streaming to Twitch and Rumble and YouTube, and
mm,
Rumble took off tenfold, like
mm.
numbers wise, followers, watch hours, all of that than the other two platforms combined. So I
Yeah.
see it for myself as more beneficial to put time and effort into what I'm doing on Rumble.
Mm.
And then I'll throw some VODs over on YouTube from time to time just to kind of keep it current. But again, there was way much more traction on Rumble.
And he says, "I'm just rumbled from my brain too much, though not as consistent as a bird." Well, yeah, you've got other stuff going on.
Yeah.
You're a trucker at heart, so there's that. But the other portion is that with that regard, YouTube is an ocean, and Rumble's a very small lake, and so
Yes.
that's why you're able to grow. Because if you get in while in the beginning part, you can grow pretty well, but the issue of it is that it's not going to remain a lake forever,
No, it's not.
and
Go ahead.
listen, stop leaving the stream. I may post clips. You might as well use the platform for what you want to use it for. But at the end of the day, YouTube is still king of the platforms, regardless of what anyone says. And I get the enthusiasm from the CEO,
Yep.
but unfortunately, he can't call Rumble a YouTube killer when it doesn't even have the stability that YouTube has.
Correct. And the other aspect, and I've tweeted this out numerous times, it's like
Mm,
if you want to be the king of the hill, YouTube killer, whatever you want to coin the phrase, you have to be able to capture multiple levels of audiences beyond conservative news.
mm,
You have to look at what's the first thing you do if you have to fix your car? If you want to do it on your own, you go to YouTube, right? YouTube
mm,
University, and so there's that aspect of it. There's a ton of DIY stuff on there that you don't
mm.
quite see yet on Rumble. One of the things I had mentioned in one of my tweets was if you go to Rumble's Facebook page, they still post cats and dogs. They haven't been doing that since 2012, basically. That was kind of like their thing back when they were just in Canada and they were just getting things started. It was just a bunch of animal videos, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it has zero representation of what the platform is today, right?
Mm,
And for what I do on X, I take the time to try to promote the gaming side of it, just because I didn't see it, right? I didn't see it when I first started streaming on
mm.
Rumble, so I was like, I could take a couple minutes out of my day and um, blast a couple of tweets out there and just kind of promote people and get the word out.
Yeah, and let's see. People usually use YouTube to watch videos still because of exactly what Davey just said. Exactly, and that's a point where, excited as I was to hear that the CEO say they're going to focus on platform stability, they're going to be playing catch up for a while,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
and that's understandable. I mean, they're really trying to break into a monopolized kind of industry, right? There's a million and one platforms out there for videos, but if you want to be to the level of some of the big ones, Kick, Twitch, and YouTube, you have to capture all aspects of audiences, and that's where I think they need to put a lot of focus on. And I
Mm,
get the stability factor. I mean, I was doing beta testing the direct RMTP Saturday, Sunday, and this morning.
Oh.
Saturday was fine. I was running 30 megabits a second, no issues. But then last night, it disconnected a couple times. But the third time was a charm, and it finally got going, and it stayed rocking at 30 megabits, and it was pretty stable. But today was just, I didn't give it too much of a chance today. I just wanted to get some time in, and so I switched back over to the Ingress that we have been using for the gaming side for a while now.
Well, so that means you use OBS, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I only used OBS like in the beginning before Rumble Studio, and it's not. It's just not as wanting to use as much as this. I'm trying to create some
Yes.
something to do something. Don't Viva then and edit there. Yeah.
Rating is got to be huge. Like that's really where you're going to find the most growth, I think. Especially in the gaming aspect of it, because I rated out today, and I only had 8 people in my stream, but I still rated out, and that's 8 more people in someone else's stream. So whether you have 1 or 300, it's always just good to drop the raids in, and it really does make a big difference. I had a raid into my stream today, and I got 3 new followers out of it. So every little bit helps, and the reposting option that Rumble has is a step beyond anybody else. Being able to repost your stream and have your viewers repost a stream, you can like and comment on them. Reposting puts you up, gets you back into the algorithm, and gets your stream out there.
Yeah, the repost is certainly a helpful benefit, but it's raid plus free marketing. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
You get that, but at the end of the day, there's still a lot to be needed to get done. And of course, I as Bill was saying earlier, for a while, where did I see that, Bill? Here we go. For a while now, I've been doing doing surveys like once a month and trying to collect feedback of the creator and viewer. And of course, if anyone has been watching me post out that data at the end, you'd know that the stream stability and all that stuff has been a very big issue for many people, and now they're finally deciding to actually get that taken care of.
Yes.
The point of the matter, though, is that should not have been a second thought, though.
That should have been ironed out from the get-go. If they were going to require Rumble Studio for the creator program, that should have been done. Personally, I think before they released the creator program, because we were using keys right out of Rumble, and it was fine. It's just the second you get into, like, on the gaming side of things, second you get into Studio, you have issues. And I miraculously fumbled my way through OBS and stuff like that, and I actually never had any issues with the ingresses. They worked fine for me the entire time. So this weekend was my first experience with the direct RMTP pass-through, and I'm pretty impressed. I don't have an answer why I disconnected 3 times the other night and twice today. So I'm going to email support and give them a heads up and all the information that they may need to kind of log that, because that's what this is for. Time is now to crash the crap out of the direct RMTP to make sure they have the data they need to make it better.
Yeah, and again, should not have been a requirement for the grid program. The language should have been 30 hours in Rumble Studio, or that's understandable too, but it is their software component. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and and I was thinking, I was talking more on just the Rumble platform itself. Rumble Studio and Rumble are, I would consider, two separate entities of the same entity. Sort of like sort of like how what is the name of the company that owns like Taco Bell and stuff? Right? There's a company that owns
PepsiCo.
No, that's the drinks. It's like Yum something
Oh,
or other.
Yum Brands, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yum.
It used to be PepsiCo. I used to, my dad used to work for PepsiCo when they owned Pizza Hut, and then they
Oh,
were bought out by the Yum Yum or Yum Company, whatever they are. So yeah, they own them
mhm.
now. Yum.
Yeah, because Yum owns Taco Bell. It owns, I think it owns Wendy's. Oh, Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I think at the end of the day, Long Johns, not
Oh
the
man.
Long Johns. Curses. Um, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's just this thing where um I, as much as I try to bring up those things, it's not about too much complaining on, but it is a rather downturn of it needs to get there, and they need to be honest about it,
Correct.
because we can't we I love the hype, love the hype.
Yeah.
Problem of it is that it's the wrong kind of, like, we're better than them on certain aspects. Like, no, no, that's a lie. Especially when YouTube can kick your butt on platform stability, and
Yep.
that's still a big issue. He's trying to. They have to fix the compression issues. That pitiful is the problem. There's a lot of things that are still pitiful. That's a problem. That's still a problem when at like the 2 hour mark, I have to refresh my stream. I have
Yeah.
to refresh myself because something happens. Really, again, when I do my survey stuff, the reason why I put that out there is because now people have that visual data, so that way they can collectively push it on Rumble to say, "Hey, this thing's not getting taken care of," because it's going to take a lot of voices. I'm
Yes.
sorry, they're still human. They're still human. At the end
Yep.
of the day, they hear great, but at the end of the day, it's going to be like a lot of people on one aspect, like, you need to fix X, you need to fix Y, and we need to see it within a reasonable amount of time. Now, coding takes quite a long time for people who don't
Yes.
understand. So don't think they can get done in a month. It'd be a
Yeah,
miracle,
they
but
can't just whip that out.
well, there's some they can whip out. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But I do not want to be a case. Um,
No.
but again, I've said it many times before. I will praise when they do well, but I also will admonish when they do poorly. And while the RTMP thing is great, it is still full of mishaps,
Yes.
and it is not perfect. And I think hopefully they know it. Excuse me while I whip this out. There you go. There you go. Right there. He he brings it. He brings it to the case. He brings it
Yep.
to the case. But it is good that they're doing something more direct rather than just through the compressionary measure of what Rumble Studio has. Because again, Rumble Studio has its own competition. People can go to
Yes.
StreamYard and get a better stable quality using directly from Rumble Studio, from StreamYard, the StreamYard Studio, that I can Rumble Studio. Um, they don't have the issue of having the after 2 hour mark. You have to refresh yourself. It just keeps going. Many a times your camera works straight off the bat. Still have issues with the camera part.
Yeah.
Again, again, their team. If nobody knows, their team is a lot smaller now than it was a year or two ago.
Yep.
So
There's
it.
only they're definitely working with a smaller group,
Mhm,
which definitely prolongs fixes and here we are on the other side, one instant gratification a lot of times, but
mhm,
a lot of that thought goes out the window when you realize, oh wait, there are only a small group of people actually trying to uh, build this platform, so to speak, beyond what it has been.
mhm. Yeah. The second part is we gotta. Most people are waiting on something that's already been out there for quite some time, and
Yep.
that's the comparison problem. Because you what do you stream to other Yeah, I think you stream to YouTube as well, if I'm not mistaken, or other platforms.
I did.
Okay.
I was doing Twitch and YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and then I right now I'm just strictly Rumble. I've been only Rumble for probably 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the and that's why I always ask people when if they multi-platform, because some do, some don't. Like
Yep.
my personal thing is that if you beyond the technical measures, like if your computer can handle it, you should be multi-streaming out. I just YouTube has proven what being on one platform can do.
Hmm.
X locals pill and bichu. Well, there you go. See, multi streaming out. But at the end of the day, no one should be streaming to one platform. I get YouTube gets it because money reach. It's always been the thing I've heard from people who are just strictly YouTube.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, all it takes for them is to turn off that faucet, and it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. Stream yesterday and video stream today. Well, that's great.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's pretty awesome.
It's fun when to see them drop in on Mario. Mario drops in from time to time too.
Nice. You'll have to give me a memory warning the other day. Not sure what that's about. I think that computer's about to take itself out.
Yep.
Why is my laptop so hot? It's on fire. I used to drive an SUV that was a pain to drive. It was a bitch shoot. Good Lord. Good Lord. I'm guessing low on memory. Is it? Are you talking about the laptop or Bill?
That's funny.
I've had Bill Dozer on before. He's an all right dude.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, and again the mobile app. Oh Lord, don't
Oh,
ask me
yeah.
about the mobile app. People, I will sit here and tell you right now. I have had people through my Rumble Squared show, which is kind of relation to the surveys. I have had
Mhm.
people tell me, blow it up,
Blow it up.
destroy it, start over again. And I'm like, well, that might not be possible. Like, we don't care. Start over from the very beginning
Yeah.
of an app because their app almost actually burns people because it gets so
It gets
hot.
so hot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
I-
one of the biggest complaints that I've heard is the fact that when you run the app on your phone, it cooks the phone. Absolutely cooks the phone.
I bet you anything it could connect to.
Yeah.
I think the worst part is if someone tried to do that, right? They were running the mobile app, right? And then
Mhm.
they decided to cook an egg. And if they were actually able to cook an egg on their phone, legit, no phony stuff. If they were actually able to cook an egg on their phone while using the Rumble app, that would put Rumble in a bit of trouble
Yes, it would.
it would show that their thing is about making people's phone blow up or something like that. So hopefully they figured that out because it's a bit ridiculous.
It is.
Oh, and thank you, Neuro, for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be putting a reminder out later, but
Okay.
for the surveys, I'm not sure if we'll be doing them monthly anymore just because I think people have kind of gotten fizzled out from taking them. Because ever since the first time when I separated both creator and viewer, started out well, and responses have kind of gone downhill. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's a great idea,
Yep.
and I'm hoping people have used that data they've gotten from it. But at the end of the day, you can't force people to take a survey, and it sucks that it has to come to the point where just like I may not be able to do it monthly anymore just because of that
Yeah.
silliness.
Well, I mean, not having enough responses really doesn't give you a strong data point. If it's with any survey, you got to make sure that the responses are there so you can formulate a sound set of data points on anything you're surveying. Really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even at the low ends, the high ends of the low ends, it's still good enough data points. But at the end of the day, I mean, again, it could be fatigue, it could be other things, but at the end of the day, if people want to see the change they want to see from Rumble, then they have to give the feedback that will collectively show what needs to change.
Absolutely.
Will my survey results end up in Family Feud? As survey says, no. Though that would be funny.
That would be funny.
Well, when did they finish? The 27th. They will be finished. I did it the day after Memorial Day just because I'll be able to, but they will be finished. And of course, the Rumble Squared show will be on the 31st. So
Good to
be on the
know.
lookout for that. Yes. I want to be that one dude that answered dial phone. Well, you just did. And survey said, oh, you get 1 point. 1 point for xylophone. I should, instead of saying survey says, I'll just say Simon says.
Yep.
And they're like, wait, what does Simon say? It's on the board.
It's right there. It's
I
right
said,
there.
just look, just look. No, but I'm always grateful for all the people that have given their data over time, because it kind of shows, again, see, when Chris had made that announcement on April 2nd, and May 2nd, sorry, when Chris had last video. Well, thank you. No, I know it may not, I don't know how much it'll make, but I appreciate it, my good sir. On May 2nd is when Chris had made that statement about platform stability, which is great. But
Mhm.
this was, thank you. No. But before then, there had been no statement made by him about platform stability until that time. I'm not going to say my surveys had an effect.
I bet you they did, though.
I'm just saying visual data matters,
Yes.
because you can't circumvent that. You could say, "Oh, well, you had bots take it." It's like, how am I going to have bots take this? I don't
Yeah.
have the. I was at one point trying to pay to promote the survey results so that a lot of people could see them. That cost me like $50 on X
Wow.
to do it for like 2 days, because I was doing it like a certain amount, because they charge you. You can scale up or down how many you want to be seen and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I just scaled it up to like the bare minimum for like both of them, and I was like, okay, but it's like you can't deny it, and
Yeah.
it's not trying to bash people at
No, it's
Rumble.
constructive criticism, right? I mean, that's really what it is, because we're all still here, right? We're all still using Rumble.
Mhm.
We're just voicing our thoughts and opinions and our experiences to give them information where they can improve upon, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
the whole idea behind it. And having something tangible like that data from your surveys goes a lot further than just word of mouth, right? You actually
Mhm.
physically can see it. You can have it in your hands, so to speak. It's tangible.
Mhm.
And that gives people more of a leg to stand on, and it gives Rumble a chance to digest that information and try to move forward and probably make corrections. I mean, like we were just talking about the direct RMTP stuff, that has probably taken a couple of months, because they did say it was going to be ready in last month, I think, and it was still kind of delayed, which is fine.
Yep. Yeah.
It happens. But now that it's gotten out there, we're seeing ups and downs with it. But that, I think, comes with anything new. You're going to
Mhm.
have ups and downs and work out the bugs and go from there.
Yeah. Yep. And but again, it's just I am very, I don't want to say this. I am very hesitant in agreeing with the CEO
Yes.
when he says there are things that Rumble's better than other platforms on, because I can point out to you where there's not the case. Sure, you can have less restrictive speech. That's great. Less
Yeah.
restrictive speech is good. But what about the other stuff that matters more to people who are coming from other platforms and look at this platform and say, yeah, do you know Jeff Mack? I don't even think I've heard of the name.
No.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I can look him up though if you can give me like what his ad is on X. Um, but yeah, it's that's what gets me, right. When
Hmm.
I get what it says to build up hype. You want more people come platform. But can anyone tell me what, since his coming over to using Rumble, and of course still using YouTube, can anyone tell me what sort of direction Dr. Disrespect has given Rumble?
Nobody knows.
And that's the
Nobody.
problem, because we
Yep.
don't get to see that visual data of, okay, he's brought a lot of people over with him.
Of
That's something
course.
I'm arguing. What I'm arguing against is, okay, they put him in charge of gaming. What is the work he's shown for it?
Yep. And
This
and And to be honest, that's kind of why I started doing what I was doing on X, right?
Mm,
You know, someone who got a huge contract to come to Rumble to be the face and voice of gaming on Rumble, and I have nothing against him. I watch him all the time. He's a
yeah.
great dude to watch. I mean, the guy can put on a show, and that's why he's who he is and how successful he's been. And
Mm,
but the aspect of what I believe he was brought here to do was lackluster, right?
mm,
You know, he can show up any day of the week and pull 15,000 people in.
mm,
But, you know, that's great for him. But what's he doing for the platform? Yeah, it brings exposure to Rumble, but you don't see him out there promoting stuff.
mm,
You know, it's interesting to see someone take a big payday
mm,
and bringing in to do a job
mm,
and only does half the job visually, like what we can actually see. You
mm,
know, I don't know what's going on in the background, to your point. Like, we just don't know. You know, there's
mm,
not a lot of communication about what he's doing in the background. I see more people who aren't big names on Rumble doing more
mm.
for promoting and advocating for the platform and trying to get the word out there than him. You know,
I
and that's
see.
kind of what I started to do on X, was just like, hey, I'm a nobody,
Mm.
but I could take 5 minutes out of my day and write a tweet and put a bunch of people in there that are streaming right now with their links and say, hey, come check these guys out. They're streaming right now on Rumble, you know,
Mm.
and it takes me no time to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that brings the question: what is gaming on Rumble doing anyway?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it kind of to my point of the Facebook comment I made, right?
Oh, it's fun to laugh, but it is a serious notion when they want to be the best and they are. It's there's stuff worthy of praise, but there's also stuff to be like, I don't know what to tell you. But getting off that horse anyway, what is that symbol on your hat? Where did that come from?
That's just something random I stumbled on in Canva that I just kind of caught my eye,
Oh
and
yeah.
built my logo off of it. My wife made the hat. Oh, got to turn this way and point this way,
Ah.
reverse on the camera.
It-
But yeah, it's a rabbit basically, and it just kind of went with for my logo, just something catchy.
So if anyone really wants to know, it's actually the missus that did the work, not the.
Yes, yes, and she did this up here for me the other day, so you can see that up
Oh,
there.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a bit artsy craftsy. She does
Yeah.
really good with that stuff.
You get. We'll do this here. The and repost. We'll give the lady oh, where's it at? There we go. There we go. Miss Damie gets a gold star just for that. But no, I actually it's funny because I use Canva too for my thumbnail stuff because
Yes.
let's just say let's just say there are a lot more people creative with that stuff, but I don't care. I just use it for efficiency. Like I can just so over time in making my thumbnail stuff, I was just kind of like going with what worked.
Yep.
And look good because red's my favorite color and all.
Mhm.
But then of course I had some help with the current one now. Sort of like the idea was to try to come up with something that's sort of Barnum Bailey sort of focusing
I
type.
could totally see that now that you bring that up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally, let me just put this down so you can.
Yeah, you're about to, he's a little shorter now.
Yeah, I'm a little short. There we go.
But yeah, no, so those kind of the idea. And then of course Mr. R kind of helped with bringing it together.
Mhm.
So I've just kind of used it, kind of switched out. I really basically just switched people's PFP out just for because I under with YouTube, right? I
Mhm.
understand, reaching out to the algorithm, doing all this stuff with algorithm, whatever. But I also do this thing, I also do this thing because I just can't play that game.
Yeah.
Right? If no one knows, there's a game to play with this whole content creator sphere, and the whole game of it is what's the word? Not begging, um, protruding oneself to the algorithm.
Yes,
protruding
yes.
oneself to people watching. I get that, right? You make something eye creating, whatever, and people come. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, I can't bring you up. Unfortunately, don't allow that. But thank you for the gifted sub, Wolf.
Ooh,
Wolf.
nice.
Much appreciated. Um, where was I at? But uh, but yeah, I can't play the game because it's again, I understand it, but it's
You can get
just
lost in it.
yeah, you can get lost in it, and you spend. I mean, there are people out there who grade it. That's fine. I get that. But at the end of the day, though, if I'm not enjoying this thing, if I'm not enjoying the process, have you used an RTP and how's it going? 3 legs. Well, we already kind of talked about that earlier, Jokyo. But if you want to give your thing about, I haven't used it. I use straight from Rumble Studio, so I can't answer that. But if
Oh,
you want to,
yeah, quickly, I can touch on that. Saturday night was my first night using it and went flawlessly. I was running 30 megabits a second. It is on point, but there are some hiccups. I got disconnected 3 times from my stream Sunday night, which got frustrating because you don't get any notification. So I was yucking away for like 45 minutes without realizing my stream was was disconnected. It was showed live in studio through the direct RMTP, but actually on Rumble it was off. So
yeah.
there are still some hiccups with it. I mean, people are running almost 100 megabits a second on one of their streams. I mean, that's obviously not going to be the long term
Mm-mm.
just because of bandwidth and cost of data and stuff like that. But you know, with the charts, I can run 15 megabits, 20 megabits a second and run 1440p. So you know, I'm not 100% sure why it was disconnecting, but I went back to the ingress this morning, but from what I see, it's going to be good. There's still some work with it that
Mm.
needs to be done.
Yeah, I imagine sooner or later there will be a limit because, like you said, the cost of bandwidth and encoding and all that stuff alone is
Yeah.
insurmountable. Look, well, I had this talk in one of my Rumble squares. Like, if any of us were to run our own video stuff on our own servers and whatnot, we would be destitute
Yes.
because it's just that expensive.
100%.
And
100%.
you can go with a cloud company, sure, but you're still paying costs up the wazoo for all your stuff, storage, bandwidth, like you said, and all this other stuff. It is a costly business. YouTube I think, has been running at a deficit for quite some time, to
Wow.
be honest.
I did not know that.
Well, I mean, at this point, it probably costs them billions to even run their platform,
Yeah.
multi-billions, which I don't think any one of us has. If we did, you got Elon, but even then, X has its issues. But yeah,
Yes, X definitely has grown into some issues of late, for sure. I mean, when they want to charge you what $100 a month or whatever it was for the premium
yeah,
X Plus or whatever, I was like, what?
yep.
What? Anyways.
It's insane. But no, but going back to the camera thing, it's like I have the pro account, so
Mhm.
there's like certain graphics and stuff that
There's
cost
so
money.
much,
Oh yeah.
so
But
much.
it's been awesome
Yes.
using that tool because I can go um I can go to other ones, and it's just not as easy using. Like, I know there's like some, like, I think like Adobe Photoshop or whatever, which
Yep.
Adobe has had its own problems. Don't get me wrong. Um, especially
Mhm.
when they charge people trying to get out of it.
Oh, yeah, right? I mean, come on now.
What who had this smart idea to charge people when they want to leave?
Yes.
No, we had to charge you. It sounds like what California does. It charges people to get out. I'm like,
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
you're
they're
gonna have
gonna tax you after you left or
you'll be having your own underground railroad, just not with the cartel.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, Elon can dig it now. Have you
yeah.
seen his boring machine?
Oh
He'll
yeah.
dig a tunnel for them to get escape out of California.
Come with me to the great land of Texas, and don't vote like you
Yes.
did in California. Oh my goodness. YouTube has their own infrastructure with Google. There's mitigating the cost significantly, but bandwidth will always be true. Yeah, it will, but at least YouTube, Google can handle it.
Yep.
Rumble struggles.
Yes.
That's not something to joke about. But yeah, I use Canva for the thumbnail, like I was saying. I also use what is it? I use of course I'm on Twitter X. I also
Mhm.
use Claude for some other things, which is sort of like one of those AI things.
Yep.
So I use a whole different. So what other tools do you use other than Canva?
So Canva, I think, is probably one of the most user-friendly,
Mm,
easy to navigate software, right? Like, I am
yeah,
not a graphic designer by any stretch of the
neither am
means.
I.
Like, I have a ton of ideas in my head, right? Like, but
Mm,
to get them from here to a computer screen and then out, I need something simple
mm,
and easy to navigate, and that's what I found in Canva. And I've tried a few of the online clip editors like Opus Clips.
yeah.
There was another one that I tried. My problem with those with the AI clip generation is they always miss it.
Yep.
Right, they're going to tell you this is where you need to be, but then no, it's not quite where you need to be, and it just you go right back into editing,
Mm,
right? So I've just decided to stay away from those programs, and I just use DaVinci Resolve. So I pull my video in, or I have through my keyboard. I use a SteelSeries keyboard, so I can just hit a button and it clips where I want it to clip, and I set the predetermined time for the clip, and I just hit a button and it clips it, and then I have a whole folder full of clips.
I
Makes it
wish
so much easier.
I wish I could do that, but it takes a lot of time. Yeah, you're not wrong with Opus Clip though, because there's sometimes where it gets the wording wrong.
Yep.
Sometimes when you're trying to use their system to clean up like the uhs and ums, it will clip out certain areas that don't need to be. Steel Series keyboards, best keyboards. There you go. Do you use any AI assets in this? So Canva has their own AI one.
Yes.
Uh,
I use Grok, to be honest with you. Like,
use
Grok has
that
been
too.
fantastic with its AI, like trying to pull up, generate images. I made one for Arc Raiders, one of my thumbnails, and I said, give me a rabbit style angry Arc Raider, right? And it came up with this pretty cool looking rabbit, which I used on my Helldivers thumbnail the other night,
Mm,
as well as the Arc Raiders thumbnail. And AI is there. It's a great tool,
mm,
but it still misses. Like, if it's interesting. You have to be very, very, very specific
yep.
in what you tell it you want, because
Yeah.
it will just go off on a rail, and you're like, that's not quite what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's Grok's issue as well,
Hmm.
unfortunately. So it's like it really should start with basic before it gets specific,
Hmm.
because you can't really because you try to do like on a post, right, and Grok will just go through all this detail. Like, I don't need all that. That is not
Yeah.
important. I don't need an essay. I just need maybe a paragraph, and I'm good. And it's like,
Yep.
no, you need all this. It's like, you dirty son of a bit. But no,
Come on, Grok.
I've used Opus Clip.2. The reason why I like using is that it takes 90% of the work away from you,
Yes.
right? You're spending more time finding the clip, putting it together, and all that stuff, where the AI is clumping different areas and getting that through. The only portion you have to worry about is wording, mismatch, all that stuff, and just kind of go through.
Yep.
So that's why I like it, but it's become um it's become an unmotivating aspect when you're trying to go through those, because I tried to do like the whole stream to some degree, or mining the whole stream, and
Yeah.
then it was just kind of like a few pieces of a stream, and it's just after a while it became unmotivating. So that's why I haven't posted any shorts and stuff like that in a long time.
Yeah.
uh,
I'm hoping that, again, shortfall of Rumble is the shorts category, and it's a huge category for gaming, right?
mhm,
Because I use TikTok. I stopped putting shorts up on YouTube because it was just, again, I did not want to sit there and fight the algorithm. I was just tired of it. Like, it was just mind-numbingly difficult.
mhm,
Because you post a clip, a short, you get 150 views on it, which is small.
mhm,
But then the next day you post another one at the same time, like they recommend, and you get
mhm.
zero. It's like, all right, I'm
Yep.
done. I'm done fighting with it. So TikTok's actually been pretty good with my with putting clips up there. I get more of a bit of a following there than anywhere else. So, I'll throw a TikTok or two up with some game clips.
I tried TikTok, but somehow, some way, when I tried posting shorts up, at some point I could no longer post any shorts. I only got to post up like 2 shorts, and then after that, it was like, "You're not posting no more shorts." I'm like, why can't I post
Yeah.
anymore? And then it just like, no, I don't know if I got banned or something, but it's a dumb little thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. But anyway, it is the top of the hour,
Oh,
and so what I do is I set aside some time. All right, I'll see you later, Neuro. What I do
have a
is
good
I
one, Nero.
set aside some time for us to sort of like self promote ourselves and all that, because some creators, they kind of do it at the beginning, some do it at the end, some I've seen do it sporadic throughout. I kind of do the top there because it's sort of like a timing thing, like hours
Mhm.
done, take a small break, and then continue on,
Okay.
because that just shows you. But anyway, like you see here, there's all your links that you could find. But since you're a man with a beard and you've got some ideas, I'll let you promote yourself. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you again for having me on tonight.
Ah, thank you.
You can find me at my links. I'm like we've mentioned earlier in the stream. I'm primarily on Rumble. I do have Twitch. I do have YouTube, but I don't typically multi-stream there. I don't really get a whole lot of feedback from those two platforms, where mainly Rumble is my go-to right now. I'm also on TikTok. If you go to my Twitter account, I do have a link tree there that has all that information in there. I basically focus on right now. I'm getting into doing part series of games. I find it super fun. I do jump on Helldivers. That's kind of like where I cut my teeth into the streaming aspect of it. I beta tested Dune, which I think is going to be a really good part series streaming content. I really enjoyed that game. Outside of that, that's pretty much what I do. I mean, I'm thinking with running through the entire game on Expedition 33, I'm going to be cutting videos of all the boss fights, but cutting out all the cutscenes. That way, if someone's actually out there trying to either beat a boss in the game, they have a place where they can go watch a 10-minute video of a full beginning to end fight with no cutscenes or any that way nothing's given away in the game, because the story is very important in that game. So that's kind of what I do. And what I do on X is I find myself promoting other people on Rumble. I saw a deficiency in the promotion on the gaming aspect of it, and
Yeah.
I take it upon myself to do that, right? All I ask for is the thanks. That gives me more motivation than anything else. When I get a thumbs up or thank you, that's more than enough, right? And my idea was, the more I do that, the more I promote others within the family of gaming, my name gets out there, right? That people get to know who I am. And then eventually that I figure will come back, and I will eventually start growing through that way. Then I'm working on a show. I've had a couple of episodes where it's Damy's Rage Quick Recap, kind of a game. Monday mornings, recap of the weekend on Gaming on Rumble. Talk about game news, updates. I'm bringing a creator in every week. Not doing an interview like we're doing right now. I do kind of a series of questions that I email them, and then they fill out, and I do like a montage of their clips, and I talk about them and go over the questions, that sort of stuff. And I do that on Monday mornings. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, I don't really consider these an interview because it's more just like conversation across the table sort of thing.
Yeah.
You ask questions though, sure, but that's not really. I mean, you don't go up to a family member and say, "Hey, would you like the beef or the stroganoff? Or would you like the beef or the meatloaf?" And not all that sort of stuff. No, it's just this is conversation at a table.
Yeah.
I'll move my tendy. Okay. But anyway, for my end of things, and of course, here's the link that I have down below, but we'll get to that. For my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or whether you're on the YouTube side, because I do stream both, if you don't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps the engagement factor is much appreciated, because at the end of the day, not only do this thing, not only is it helping being seen more, like all content creators want to be, it also helps in having other people on, like Damie, uh,
Yes.
like who else? Endy, of course, like Endy, and so many others. At the end of the day, I just do this thing, talking to people, create or not, it doesn't matter. Just talking across the table. But of course, like I showed earlier, I have a link as well that Neuro has so graciously put up. You can go there. You can find my Twitter X. You can find my email. I have a thing for Discord, but it's mostly just for DMing. I don't have a server. Don't ask, because it's not going to happen. Because I've seen either you have a good with it, you have a bad with it. You can. Some people have more trouble than others. At the end of the day, there's only so much social media I can handle, and
Yes.
I don't need to add any more. I get there's a lot of content creators like, you got to do this, this, this. And like, I don't tell people how to create content. I just give my perspective. So I won't tell you how to do it, but please don't tell me how to do it either.
Exactly.
This is how you can improve. Well, doggone, that's great. Why don't you just let me create and we'll get on with our lives?
Yeah.
Cuz
Let me figure it out.
yeah. Like I did when I did thumbnails, like the one you currently see, that was just something that once Mr. R had got it done, I was like, that's it. That's what I want right there. Because
Hmm.
I'm more of that type of person, right? You see the thing, right?
Yep.
And it works and it just attracts you, boom, right there. Where others are like, oh no, you know what's in your head and you draw it out and you get it right. But I can't on the aspect. I'm not as talented like that,
Yep.
but I do try, uh, which which is not
That's all
like
you
my,
can do.
which is not. It's the same thing with all the other stuff I use. Again, I use the tools I have at my disposal to do it, and I do pay for some of it, like Opus, although I may be canceling that. Claude I pay for, X I pay for, all that stuff. But at the end
Hmm.
of the day, the tools are out there to use. It's just how you use them, or whatever. Like a lot of, okay, not a lot, but there have been some people who use Opus dot Pro or Opus Clips, and they really don't check over this stuff. Like
No.
my problem was I put in too much work to try to make it look good enough and sound good enough, because again, you have those oohs and ahs or whatever. But
Hmm.
you have people who will take what's given to them and whatever the title is and description, and they'll post it, while not realizing that the camera points are not in a good spot.
Yes.
So what is this? There's this person up here, and they're like over half, and then you have this person underneath right there, or person from the side is like,
Yep.
did you not check over yourself before you posted it? Nah.
Nah,
It's
they
like,
just clicked and go.
just
Whatever it recommended.
what is this thing? A little work, just a little work.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to me about this, but this doesn't look great at all. I'm just like, I would run in that too with Opus Clips, because it'd be like it couldn't get that right. It would have you have someone's space partially in your view, or just a sliver of it or whatever. But you could
Yep.
tell it's someone over there. It's like, what is this?
Yes.
Um, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, it was just always fun. It's always funny when I see it's like you really just took what it gave you and posted it. just just
And
want to
that was
give.
part of my problem with it, right? Like I get so nitpicky
Mm,
at things. And I do have my lazy moments where I just want to get a clip out, but
yeah.
when it just isn't right, like either the video clip that they recommended is,
Mm,
okay, but it really wasn't fitting what I wanted to use. I that's why I stopped using it. It was just like,
mm,
I could probably do this better. I don't mind taking a few moments
mm.
and clipping it until like I said, I figured out how to set up my clips right off of my computer. So I just hit a button. So, when we're playing a game, oh, I need to clip that, or I utilize Streambot, right? I can
Oh,
just go into Streambot and just type clip, and it'll clip whatever amount of time, and it'll post it on Rumble, and I
mm.
can share that out. There's plenty of tools out there.
Yeah, and again, I tried to find at least something that was of similar to Opus Clips, but they really do have the market, because there's
Yes, they
just
do.
not. They do. There is no one else that can match up to what they can do, at least in the total of what they can do. You can even do some parts, sure, but at the end of the day, there's so much more they do that
Hmm.
other ones don't, and the prices are so outrageous. If you go anywhere else, it's just like, why bother?
Yep.
It's great video scrubbing and clips. Oh, for the Rumble Studio. Yeah, I haven't used the Rumble Studio thing for clips. It's just I again, the reason why I use Opus Clips is because of it takes 90% of the work away from you,
Oh,
and
yes,
all
it
you need to do
does.
is the editing. That's what I really want. Give me something that will take at least the 90% and let me do the 10% and make the tools easy to use without messing up so much. Because it happens, but it is
Yeah.
what it is.
And Rumble Studio Clips is going to be like any video editing software. It's not going to give you timestamps of interesting points of your stream. It's not going to
Mhm.
give you any of that information. You got to basically either timestamp it yourself as you're streaming to
Mhm.
know where you need to go back. For me, like if I'm at work and I want to put a couple clips out from over the weekend and I know where it is, I will
Mhm.
try. I will try to use Rumble Studio to do a clip, but more often than not, it doesn't work. So I leave it to here on my desktop at home and just use DaVinci Resolve and cut it down.
Yeah, how is it? I have DaVinci, but I've not used it. How is it? Because you're probably using a free version of it.
Yeah,
Free
I'm
version.
using the free version of it, and it's great. Again, learning curve.
Yeah.
There is a learning curve because it's not a run of the mill video
Mm,
editing software. I mean, this is production level type stuff that you can do in there if you're, especially if you're paying for their actual full software. I mean,
yeah.
it's just there's so much you can do in it. But for what I needed to do, I figured out what works best for me, and it just makes it so much easier than trying to use other forms of video editing. Because I've tried a few of them, CapCut and
Yeah.
the Microsoft Clipchamp, which annoyed the hell out of me, and um, so using the free version from DaVinci, it just works really good. I
Is
enjoy it.
it? Was it? Was it the annoying part that was Microsoft or something
Yeah,
else?
it, I just I didn't find it very user friendly, right? It just I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because I was originally using it because I when I started making videos, it
Mhm.
was mainly on TikTok around my car, right? I was
Oh,
building a car,
nice.
and I just wanted to kind of get into that, and that's kind of where I got into Rumble outside of the whole Dan Bongino thing, like we talked in the
Oh,
last hour,
yeah.
was trying to put car content up on Rumble because there isn't any. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this will be a good thing, let's get some car content up there, but it just didn't really work out as well. So,
Man.
um, I was using CapCut for that
Mhm.
and Clipchamp, and it was just again, I think I needed more
Yeah.
than what they offered. So I've found that DaVinci Resolve works really well, and even though there is a bit of a learning curve, I'm at a point where it works for me.
Yeah. What was the car though? What was like
Oh,
the
I had a 2007 Mustang that I had some engine issues with.
right?
The head got all banged up, so I stripped it out,
Yeah.
tore the motor down, rebuilt it. It was supercharged, about
Wow.
650 horsepower. I sold that last year, and I got a 2023 Mach 1 Mustang now.
2023 Mustang. Wow. Now, is it? I didn't know they were still making Mustangs, to be honest, because I always
Yeah,
thought that Mustang was like a 70s to 80s car.
no,
Um, but it's always fascinating with those old muscle cars because you tend to get more oomph out of it, I
yeah,
guess. Well, depending on because I have seen some of those people supercharge a car like nitrous and stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a very good idea. But it's always interesting when they take like those old Ford cars and they turn them
Mhm.
into like these hot rod sort of
Yes,
spiels. You have like these pipes sticking out. I was like, was that car made for something like
yeah,
that? I don't know if that's a bright idea I want to do with there. You see flames coming out of it. It's like I don't
it's
know if
awesome.
I
It's awesome. I love that stuff. That's kind of like my second hobby is cars. It has been since I was 5 years old. I've been obsessed with Mustangs since I was knee high to a grasshopper. So, I've had several over the years,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it's just something fun about building a car, making it go fast, being stupid fast. Nothing
Ugh,
wrong with that.
yeah, I wish I wish it would be nice for my end to own like to try to because I once went to try to go for a Mini Cooper, right?
Hmm.
Just because I like the look of it. But people don't understand is that it's the insurance for those kind of vehicles like sports
Yes.
cars are so expensive.
Yep.
You want to talk about expensive? Okay, so take a regular four-door sedan, right? Now, whatever you're paying for that, double that or triple it. That's what you're paying for a sports type of car.
Yeah.
So say like so I think the sports car is anything that's two-door, I believe. 'Cause that's
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, I don't know how they designate it. I mean, it could be the two-door aspect of it.
um
You know, because any car. I mean, you could have a sports car that's got a four-cylinder that's putting out 450 horsepower nowadays. I mean, that's how it
yeah,
is. I mean, it doesn't matter about the size of the motor anymore because of the technology that's out there for performance.
yeah.
Um, but I think it's more the title of the car, right?
Mm,
You know, it's like if it's titled as a sports car
oof,
through the manufacturer, that's probably where they're more likely going to tag you
ugh.
versus the door option.
Yeah, I so wanted to get one because I my first car was a manual, a stick
Mhm.
shift. For any of those who don't understand what manual is, because there's some people who don't know what stick shift is. Like, well, what's stick shift or manual?
Yeah.
Sorry, some people don't understand what manual is.
It's a millennial anti-theft device.
I've seen those stories too. Like I saw
I have
like
a
one video
T-shirt that
where
says
yeah,
that.
I like the one guy where he goes into the car trying to steal. I was like, wait a second, what's this? Standard? Well, standard too. There is standard.
Yeah,
Uh,
standard
but
manual,
that's what the English call it. We don't call it here in America like that.
a gearbox,
We're gonna start coming up with so many
a
names.
proper gearbox.
A proper gearbox. Well, but I started my first car was a '97 Honda Accord EX,
Mhm.
and that was my first stick shift. So I learned how to start driving with a stick shift. So you can you can imagine how that goes the first time around.
Yep, yep. Can't find them, grind them.
Oh, thank you, Cams. Much appreciated. But I was like, please just work. Please stop doing
Yep.
this. But I eventually got it. But I tell you what, man, driving stick is a lot more freeing.
It is.
Um,
It is. It keeps you connected to the car, I think. And my newest car that I have now, the Mustang, is an automatic, and I had multiple surgeries on my left knee, so obviously your left foot is the clutch,
mm,
and
yep.
it just doesn't bode well in traffic and
Mm,
just making it comfortable to drive. So I went automatic this time. Now my wife can drive the car. She couldn't drive. She doesn't know how to drive a stick, and
mm,
we're having the previous Mustang was just kind of a pain in the butt because even though we had two cars, we really only had one car.
yeah.
So now if we're stuck, she can hop in my new one and just rip off and go do whatever she needs to do. So
I remember when because I had gotten an accident. Well, not my fault, thank goodness. But it was sort of like it's one of those accidents where it totaled. Oh, thank you. It totaled my vehicle. It totaled the
yeah,
Honda Accord, and so um, so I like the purple hat. That's cool. Yeah, see, his wife helped make that.
yes,
So
she made that.
I'm surprised she didn't put her initials next to it. Then I've been like, this is just by, this is by. Um, but it was one of those things. And then of course the car I had to get because of the incident. The only car that was available was an automatic. I'm like, all right. It was quite a time where I'm like pushing with my left leg, and I'm like, oh.
Yep. Or you go hit the brakes and you realize you don't need to hit the clutch, and your both feet go down to try to stop the car. Yeah.
It's just like, oh man,
Yep. Something's supposed to be there.
my left leg feels funny. It won't stop moving.
Yep.
But I really it was really a trying time when you're trying to learn how to do that sort of you have to push the brake and the clutch at the
Mhm.
same time in order to move it. Now, I know there's things like popping the clutch for real. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, she made that.
Yep, she
Um,
made the hat.
but I know there's a thing where you can pop the clutch, whatever, which I don't think I've ever had to do. I don't, you know, but it's just one of those things where like nowadays you either buy a used car or you have to get it made like that, and it
Yep.
sucks.
Yes, having a stick shift, a manual transmission is a dying breed. You're seeing more and more of the top sports cars go to the dual friction clutch, which
Mhm.
is basically a clutchless manual transmission. Um, which is cool and all, but you still lose the fact of having to shift with a clutch, and you don't have a stick anymore. It's all in your column, the paddle shifters and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's a dying breed for
Oh.
sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's more prevalent, over across the,
Oh
across the.
yeah. When you go across the pond, I mean, everything's a stick shift.
Gotta get it from across by another, except you're on the wrong side of the car. So if
Yes.
you get a vehicle from the UK, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be on the left side, not the right side. This is
Try driving an American car in the UK for 2 years. That was not fun.
well, yeah, because you get on the wrong side of times. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not
it
supposed to be on
just
the left side.
yeah. I was stationed there for 2 years in RAF Lakenheath, and I brought my Jeep Grand Cherokee over there, and I
Oof.
drove that around for 2 years in these backcountry old roads in and around the base, and man, it just nope.
put,
Nope.
a, put a USPS sticker on it. You're gold.
Yeah.
Now,
That's funny.
Why were you over in the UK?
I was stationed there for the Air Force. I was in the Air
Really?
Force. Yes. Yep.
Wow. Well, you're not the only person I've talked to who's been in the Air Force, but you're
Hmm.
so like Cam's here,
Mhm.
that rated us. She was actually in military branch as well.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't remember if it's Army or other. It happens when you talk to a lot of people, but I've talked to a
Yes.
lot of people who are either in currently or out of it. Of course, there's another gentleman by the name of Tomby who I've had on who's also
Oh, yes, Tomby. Yeah.
he's
I chat with him all the time. He's a good dude.
yeah, he was in the Navy portion of that.
Yep.
So a little different from our end. A dashboard. How are you, good sir? It's a little different from our end of things, but yeah. So I've talked to a lot of military current or ex, and it's always interesting when you can just like you're stationed where again? It's like always stationed.
Yeah.
It's like so you were military, okay?
Yeah. I was stationed in the UK for 2 years, and I did 2.5 years in Las Vegas, actually. I was stationed there as well.
What?
Yeah.
It's probably hot though. Well,
Oh,
hot and
hot.
dangerous.
Yeah. Hot. It's a whole nother kind of hot. I'm here in Georgia now. I mean, you get outside at 90 degrees and it's 100. The humidity's at 100%, and you walk
Oh,
into a sauna outside. Like there, it's 140 degrees out at midnight, but it's super dry. It's just
yeah.
hot, but you're not swimming, out your front door to get to your car.
When you walk out your outdoor, you have to take a shower again. Vegas, mine,
Yeah,
yeah. B Sparks is
Sparks.
active. Yeah, B Sparks. Stuff Central is former USA. Yeah, Alex Astro is Air Force as well, I believe. If you've
Wow,
ever
wow. I
seen
didn't
him.
know B Sparks was active though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But he's still active. Air Conda TV is actually now former uh,
Oh.
Navy, I believe. There's a few others too I can point out too, but it's been a lot. I'll take, oops, what was that? I'll take oven hot over swamp.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that, Dashboard. I would 100% agree with that. I mean,
Oh,
I
and
moved down from
it's
Boston, and I hate the cold, so I'll take the heat any way I can get it. But the dry heat over the humidity is by far the definite
ugh,
plus factor.
so many of them. Well, it's probably all over the place, but yeah, you'll see them.
Yeah, there's tons.
But but so are you originally from Boston then?
Yes, I grew up about 45 minutes south of Boston,
Okay.
towards Cape Cod.
Okay. Oh, Cape Cod. That's pretty well known, especially if you can
Yep.
get all the seafood you can eat from
Yes.
there.
I mean, you grow up a half a mile from the beach, you get spoiled on the seafood.
Look, Mom.
I don't touch seafood in Georgia. Because I can't see the ocean.
Look over there. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because you don't have that. You don't have the accents. Not have lobster rolls. That's right.
It comes
Mm.
out. I've been in Georgia since 2014, so it's Pakyaka and Harvard Yard. How about that? Does that fit the bill?
Look, come get your peaches.
Yep.
Um, but it's always funny because you have people from you can go to different like the UK, right, and they have their
Yep.
different sections, Yorkshire, all that stuff. But even in the U.S., you have people from California to
Hmm.
Texas. There's all different sort of variations of the accent, but we still at least speak. Oh, well, unless you're the Alpa Chilean, then you're
Oh yeah,
really
that's a whole nother thing.
that's you're really like. Did he just say he has a moonshine, or that's the direction to the next hotel? I'm not
Yes,
sure.
100%.
Now, I've only been to Georgia a few times, but it was mostly just passing through, and
Hmm.
it's because we were going to, well, of course, Florida, because Walt
Yep.
Disney World, right?
Yep.
But I mean, I do know that it's sort of what's his name, Tyler Perry's home, so to
It
speak,
is.
for his company,
Yep.
and all that stuff, which is kind of interesting because Tyler Perry's like super famous now at
It
this point.
is. And it's like Hollywood 2.0, so to
Really?
speak. There's a ton of filming in Georgia. There's massive studios down here. Um, big shows like The Walking Dead was filmed in Sonoya, Georgia, probably
Wow.
about an hour and a half south of Atlanta. And so there's a ton of filming that goes on here.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of just because of the taxes, it's so much cheaper to film in Georgia than it is
Yeah.
California. So you see a lot of people kind of skating over here to make their movies
Mm.
for Hollywood.
Well, they also go up to Canada too, but
Yeah.
we'll see how long that
Yeah,
lasts.
I know, right?
Oh, look, there's those Americans. They come over for the cheap taxes.
Hey?
Let's let's charge them a bit more, eh?
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty interesting because that'd have been funny too. You just drive by and you see a bunch of people pretending to be zombies. Like, oh look,
Yeah,
honey,
yeah.
it's
Yep.
it's the zombies are over there.
Yeah, the zombies are over there.
and here
Yes.
and here we're now down at the car park with more zombies.
Yeah, the town, that they the Sonoya, so all the white houses that they lived in their show,
Yeah.
that actually sold all those houses off, at
What?
post-production of the actual, main Walking Dead series,
Yeah.
so you can actually go down to that town and visit, and they do tours and stuff, so it's actually a neat little tourist, spot to go to.
That's interesting because I mean the South is not just like Georgia because Georgia's in the South, but we have Louisiana and all that stuff where
Mhm.
you mostly have those plantation style type.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like I don't know if that's what they're called per se, but they're that plantation style type homes where they like these big mansions and big
And the
plots of
columns
land.
in the front and, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
White Houses, yeah.
yeah.
You see quite a bit of that, especially if you get out into different parts, like, obviously, I'm about 45 minutes away from Atlanta, so I'm still kinda in the metro area, but once you
Okay.
get kinda to the outskirts
Mhm.
excuse me, sorry.
You're right. Yeah, because I was about to say I've heard Atlanta is not a great place to live in.
Yeah, we stay away from the city. I work in the city, so I
Yeah.
have to be there,
Ugh,
but, we're in the northern part of Georgia. We're probably maybe an hour from the Tennessee border, so it's not.
nice.
Yeah, so we're far enough away, we don't get the riffraff. We'll just say that.
I like that you call it riffraff and not just like deathly death on the streets sort of thing.
Oh, that is just the highway alone will kill you.
Yeah, and of course Dashboard saying Atlanta sucks. Well, you know what? I used to live in
Okay.
Buford.
I know where Buford is. My father-in-law had a houseboat in Lanier for many, many years, so we'd be up in that area a lot back in the day.
Nice. Oh yeah, I again my only experience with Georgia is going through it, and it's a long
Yes.
state to go through.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it'll take you almost a whole day to get through that state. 'Cause
Yeah, especially if you're driving through the Macon area. It'll take you
oh,
half a day just to get through Macon.
oh goodness. I don't know. I don't. It was a long time ago. It was when I was a kid when we went
Yeah.
down. But I do know that um, it's at least better during the summer than the winter because it could be worse. Lake Lanier is the best part of the Atlanta area.
It
I
is
don't.
absolutely stunning.
Well, you're talking about something I've never been to, so
Well, I
unfortunately,
mean, it's a massive lake, and when they can drop in cigarette boats, like the big horsepower racing boats, into a lake,
yeah.
that's a pretty big damn lake, and they go so fast that it's a fun place to go. It's a really nice area. People actually live on the lake. They have docks full of
What?
houseboats, and oh yeah, it's a whole its own little world, so to speak.
that would be an interesting thing to kind of like, because you have on land homes, right?
Yep.
And obviously this is a lake, so it's not, difference with between a lake and an ocean is that you have hurricanes on one and not on the other.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to, because I know you could put a lake, no, so you could put a houseboat in like a river or whatever and
Hmm.
travel. But it is always an interesting fashion way you could do something like that because your home is essentially
Really,
mobile,
essentially
but
mobile.
the thing I don't get is like, you know because of it being a houseboat and all this stuff, the taxes you have to pay on it or how it even works if you ever live on it, it's really feels messy.
I honestly couldn't tell you what it takes. Like my father-in-law had it just as a weekend getaway.
Mm.
And honestly, it just sat parked. We never actually took it out; just stayed docked
Oh
the entire
wow.
time. He would run it every so often to make sure the engine was good, but for the most part, he just went there, hung out, smoked his cigars, and hang out.
that's that's probably the best thing to do with it, but it'd be interesting to kind of do that sort of thing because I've always been I've always felt it's kind of like a nice thing to try at least. On dashes, it usually see the houseboats in the Northwest. They float on big logs in the ocean by Seattle. I, Jeez Louise, big logs. Goodness sake, almost sounds like what happens after never mind. I'm not gonna finish that one off.
Your trip to Taco Bell.
No, that's not a log. That's after a certain point, it's not a log anymore. It's like Hormel chili at that
Yeah.
point. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much. Um, but no, because I know there's some people who do like those like this huge, massive, huge RV homes, like the
Yes.
like the big ones. Look, I get you want to go on vacation, but at that point, it's just a mobile home. At
Yeah, I
that
mean,
point,
it's six-figure house basically on wheels. I mean, you're easily 150, $200,000 for some of those. It's just, and then not to mention the gas, right? They're
oh,
doing this to travel the country.
mm,
You're paying. I think the rates for mobile homes like that are much less costly when it comes to financing, because it's still considered a recreational vehicle, from what I understand, and I could be
yeah.
110% wrong. Don't quote me on that, but um, you're still you're still having to put 80 plus gallons of fuel in that thing to just hump around the US for the fun of it. I mean, I get it, but not for me. Not for
I like
me.
how I like how you use the word hump around. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking? Why are you humping around in an RV? What the
Yeah.
Arizona and the West in general is littered with RV. Well, yes, because it's warmer out there.
Yes. I
It's
would be much happier to go right up the road to the Blue Ridge Mountains, get a small cabin and retire up there in the Smokies and just be done with it.
yeah,
That's just that would be me. I don't need to travel.
yeah. Well, and the thing of it too is like you'd have to. I think if you can sort of live off the grid,
Mhm.
especially that kind of you could be okay. But at the end of the day, though, there's always that worry of like medical and stuff, right? No,
Yes. Yep.
just but that
Distance
would.
is
Oh
Distance
god,
plays a factor when you're in the mountains for sure.
that is true. Um, and but it would be interesting to try at least because I do think people need a way away from the electrical part of things. I'm not saying
Yes.
like lights and stuff, but more of like the connection to the internet hub itself, which is kind of a great thing to say, but it's also a sad thing to say too, because the more connected we are, the more almost feel like it's sort of like a paradox. The more closer we are on the digital plane, the more distant we are on
In
the
the
physical
Yes.
plane.
100%. I mean, that is the double-edged sword of technology, right?
Mm,
How it's played out. I mean, with me being in the military, I relied on technology to stay in contact with my family when I'm across the pond,
yeah.
and I'm born in the early 80s, 81. I grew up with
Oof.
no technology to technology and to where we're at now. So I've been through all of it, right?
Mm,
and it's just one of those things. It's like it's a necessary evil to some extent, but you do need to have the opportunity to disconnect every once in a while because it's the only way to stay healthy. Because you need that direct human interaction for sure.
Yeah. Then again, while this isn't, well, I guess I can't say it's not direct, but it's direct enough that it still works because, again,
Yeah,
part of the reason why I did it was because you already have a lot of people who do the, gaming and stuff on entertainment industry and all that sort of stuff, the drama tubers or whatnot. I don't really
the
care.
trauma tubers.
Yeah, it's part of the social media,
Yes.
social content creator sphere. My thing with all this is just reaching across the table to have a conversation which is about anyone, because I think it's a lost art in its own right when you see a lot of people who are willing to text it but not
Y-
say it.
Yes. I mean, I was just going to say that, picking up the phone and actually having a phone conversation versus sending a text, right? We
Yeah,
don't do that anymore.
yeah,
I remember as a kid, running to the phone to call my friend, and use the actual house phone to call somebody, talking on the phone for a few hours, getting yelled at by my mom because I'm on the phone for too damn long. It's like, because she needs the phone or something,
yeah,
oh, she needs to get on the internet, and I'm
yeah,
sitting there yakking it up with Joe Blow from down the road, right?
yeah,
Where I can go out the house and go have a conversation with them.
yeah, yeah. But it has been helpful in the sense of like, people can now call for help on their own spend
Yeah.
wherever they are, rather than, I mean, it's not like it's not like the old commercial like Lifeline where you
Oh
I,
yeah, help!
I can't
I'm falling. I can't get up.
I can't help enough. But there's something similar to that because I remember someone had stated something like that the Apple watches, like if something
Yeah,
happened to
fall
you,
protection.
they would automatically call 911, which is great. I mean, you
Yep.
want, especially if you have parents who, you know, your parents, right? They want to live on their own and all this stuff. There's still that worry of something may happen. Well, now you have
100%.
something like, and I think that's what Life Alert was trying to do, but you have to still go up and press it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so with the Apple Watch sort of thing, it's kind of an automatic ordeal because I do think it there is a point in our lives where our independence slowly erodes away because our
Hmm.
mobility factor slowly erodes away. Now there's people out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to be as mobile as Dick Van Dyke when he's
Yeah.
that old.
And
All right.
yep.
99, almost 100, and that man still can tap dance his way on stage.
Yep.
All right, that says a lot. But not everyone is like that. So
No.
you need the options to be able to have a safety net of sort. But it is a, for some of it, it is an almost scary factor because we all eventually face that question of, can I still drive?
Yep.
Can I still go to places by myself? All that stuff. And one of the things I forgot to mention, but one of the things is you hear a lot of stories about how old that a big chunk of older people are the ones that get scammed a lot,
Hmm.
right? Trillions,
Yep.
trillions, billions of trillions of dollars just get lost away out of it because they get scammed. They're easily to hit on all that stuff, and it's sort
Scammer
of,
payback.
yeah. Oh yeah, you watch that
Oh
channel too, yeah.
yeah. I love that show. I love what he does. He's great.
Oh, oh my gosh, but it's, yeah, and I've seen some of the stuff too. Not I haven't seen any of the recent stuff, but I do like. But it goes to show you how devious it is, and
Yeah.
guess what? It's all from India.
Yeah.
How,
Yeah.
how is it that they want to talk about this H1B1 stuff or whatever it
Hmm.
is, and then they go to then they have this whole scammer stuff, and it's pretty much all from India. It's like
Yes.
your hardest workers are over there just,
He's
just
ripping us
scamming.
off anyways.
Just give me out of money. Why didn't you even give them another opportunity?
Yeah,
It's
billions and billions and billions of dollars of fraud every year when it comes to all of that, especially the vulnerable, the elderly. It's just they don't even have to be elderly. It's like,
yeah,
some people just don't have that common sense factor
yeah,
to realize what's 100% real. They just believe what's in front of them.
yeah,
And then, like, for instance, like, speaking back to the watch aspect of it, like my wife has passes out randomly, and so we ended up having to get her a Google Watch, one of the Google Pixel watches that has the fall protection in it, because I was on my way to work one night and she fell.
No.
Luckily, my mom was there, but
Okay.
it's just, what if she was home alone with the kids and she fell and cracked her head on the
Oh,
ground like she did, and she couldn't do anything. So the technologies are very, very useful.
mm,
My grandmother, who lives with us, is
mm.
96, no, 98 now, and with advanced dementia.
Oh,
We have one of the new upgraded fall protection stuff. It's not life alert. This will actually monitor
yeah,
falls, and it
right.
will call paramedics. And we have this little station on the counter.
Oh,
So we do utilize a lot of those newer tools to ensure the safety of our family. You know.
yeah, and that's nice too. I mean, it's great that she's lived this long, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people would like to hit that point, but it's hard enough when you lose the ability to even keep your memories, and that's a
Hmm.
big chunk of what makes our life is our memories. And
100%.
once you begin to lose those, I mean, I think there is some truth in stating that, and when they say like to keep being active, because,
Hmm.
and I don't know if it's like physical activity, or they mean like what mental activity, like puzzles or whatever.
Puzzles and all that sort of stuff.
But yeah, but I do believe that, if they're telling you to at least be somewhat, and it best to be both. It's best to be
Yeah.
mental and physical, because obviously, like I said, we all want to be a bit like Dick Van Dyke dancing on the
Yeah.
stage, but we also have to realize is that it does hit hard for some people, especially when you have. I mean, there's stuff like Parkinson's, which
Hmm.
that those are slow diseases too, but like Alzheimer's or dementia, it's rough. It's rough
It
for
is.
families. It's rough for anything. And like you said, you got tools we can use technology wise that kind of help, but it's still stuff. Oh, there you go.
Thank
Look
you,
at that.
Neuro. Much appreciated.
Nero's one of a kind. But yeah, no one props to it. Now, is it like a medical condition that your missus suffers, or what is that?
Uh, Honestly, they don't know. She's been through every single doctor, every single scan, every single
Jeez.
thing, and it's just one of those weird things that just pops up from time to time. Usually, we can catch it.
Okay,
There's usually telltale signs, but this time, that one time, luckily, it has not happened since. But
good.
she basically just fell flat on the floor mid
Oh,
conversation, mid
that's
conversation. And she
that's
had one of
awful.
those metal banana clip hair clips in there, which, like, she never she's not wearing them anymore, but it
Yeah.
actually cut her pretty badly. So if you have a daughter or a wife or a girlfriend or a sister or mother who wears those metal banana clips for their
Mm,
hairs, I would not
yeah.
recommend it, because if you
Mm-mm.
fall and hit your head, that will split your head open right
Ugh.
quick.
And I think if you're someone who suffers from seizures too, that's another one
Yes.
that's really awful. But yeah, oh, that's just horrible, 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 horrible.
Yeah.
But oh, oh, that's right. The scammer thing, right? So
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
so we get see this is why I do these things, because you're off somewhere else in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's
But
good. It's good. I really like it. So,
there's like you were saying, the payback scammers is great, shows you what's really going on, and tells you like the amount and stuff. And it's funny enough, because I believe, what's his name,
pierogi.
pierogi
Yep.
pierogi they have set up a fund for people who have
Yes.
gotten their money stolen, which is great. But that's only a matter of time before, if people don't learn and get hit
Hmm.
again, then it's sort of like giving that money away, it just becomes pointless. But there's oh, go ahead, sorry.
What I liked about him was just a show to watch him troll scammers. Like, he was legit trying to change.
Mm,
He was trying to help people. He
yeah.
would intercept the mules going to collect the money,
Ugh,
and so, like, as I've been watching him for a few years now, and his ability to help others is
mm,
really, really what drives that show, I think. And
yeah,
he's got some great people in the background. A lot of them remain anonymous because they
yeah,
do what would consider illegal actions, but
Yeah.
not really illegal, like the what do they call them? The hackers that are good. There's a
There's black hats, there's gray hats, and there's white hats.
well, there's also the ethical hackers.
Yeah, ethical hackers. That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I was looking for, and so he's got a great team behind him that you
Mhm.
don't typically ever see, and you
Mhm.
probably will never see. But
Yeah.
their abilities to intercept live right then and there a fraud happening where this elderly person's potentially going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, 15 grand, 10 grand. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
They're going to take whatever you have in your bank account,
I,
and it's
yeah.
wild.
And some of the time they show that some of these people on the other end are not that smart. I'm not talking about
No,
the
they're not.
people,
No,
I'm not talking about the people getting scammed. I'm talking about the
no,
people who
the
are doing the
scammers.
scamming. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
they're
sitting in their underwear picking their nose or something, right?
and they go off a script and they're taking the money, and usually they have like a hierarchy of whatever. But it's
Yep.
like majority of the time they're not smart people. It's just lied to. And so for one of those things, it's like, used to be like robocalls would be the big
Hmm.
thing. Now it's like emails.
Yep.
The big thing people need to be aware of is if you receive an email, it's always good to recheck it over.
Yes.
And I know this is kind of leading to something, so I apologize. But so a while back, I'm in the creator program as well on Rumble, but there's also another partner program I had applied to, and this one is by a company called Proton. Now I don't know if any of you know heard of Proton.
Proton. Yep.
VPN, email, also.
Yep.
So if people don't know, Proton is stationed in Switzerland. It's the most known for its privacy laws and all that sort of stuff.
And
But
the
their main
encryption, right?
encryption and stuff. So the main point is privacy security. Again, the internet is not 100%, so do not expect it to be 100%. There's no way to be on the internet. But the point of the matter is that they create these products to sort of help people in the privacy and all, because there's different variations. But the one when I applied for this partner program, I just did it because, like I did with the creator program, wasn't sure if I'd get in. Nothing wrong with picking your nose in your underwear. Hey, whoa, hey, calm it down. Don't do it. All right, it's not pretty.
They
Um,
do it on camera. I mean, what you do in your own home without the camera on is everybody's own business, but they'll do it with the damn camera on.
uh, ugh, no, I almost threw it in my
In
mouth.
their sweaty ass shanties that they're in the butthole of India.
Oh, the butthole of it. That's what they should call it, the butthole of you.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, they live in those shitholes. I mean, you see where they live, and they're
yeah.
these complete catastrophe places they've got like 500 computers around them, and they're all sweating in one room.
I just want there to be an Indian name for the butthole of India. It's like that doesn't sound right. It's like it's correct though. But anyway, so I had entered into their partner program that they had, they still have for
Hmm.
Proton, and I just did it because again, like with the creator program, I just didn't know if I get in because I use the product. I
Yep.
use Proton. There's various products, and so so I was like, because they were asking questions like, I
Satan.
saying, I don't know if we want to call it that yet. Um,
That's funny.
that's the one that's really gonna get the gold star here. Uh, but I entered in, didn't know if think again because they usually ask questions like, "Oh, how many people do you follow you?" Whatever. I'm like, I don't know. I do the content creation because I want to, not because of all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's always a bonus. So I was like, I probably won't get in, but better to try than not try. Well, 24 hours after that, I get an email saying you're in. I'm like, are you sure about that? Because I barely sell any Rumble Premium, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, they give me a bunch of different links, but mostly just for different products like their VPN and stuff. But I'm just focusing on the email one. So
Yep.
this link, if you see it, and you'll probably see it, it'll be both in the description on both ends. Oops, there we go. But basically, you can go to that email, it'll take you to the site, and it'll show you a bunch of different things like the costs or whatever. But what Proton Mail does pretty well in the Proton brand is one, it helps against those scammers and spammers, right? There are many times where it has told me, not all the time, but there are many times where it tells you like it's a scam or something's not right here, whatever.
Mhm.
And so you'll just be like, okay. Now we'll ask you to authenticate it if you know, because sometimes it may get it wrong. But the
Yep.
point of the matter is, it warns you. But not only that, it also gets them before it gets to you, right? So I have AOL, I have iCloud still, and I also have Gmail, because if you
Yep.
have YouTube, you have to have
Have a
Gmail there.
Gmail.
See, and that's the thing too, is like they get away with forcing you to have a Gmail, right, for
Mhm.
YouTube. But while understandable for the creator program for the $10 to be part of it,
Yep.
not much complaint about the Gmail portion so far, and that's free. But
Yep.
I digress. This is a different story. Point of the matter is, there's a lot of spam mail with those ones.
Yes.
Every single time I look at them, spam, spam, spam. Proton, they're zapping it before it gets to you. Now, again, some may slip through. It happens, but at the end of the day, nothing's 100%. Right?
Yep.
They're always improving, of course. The second part is that it allows you to use alias emails. So what does that mean? That means that you have your actual email here and you have an alias email here. Your alias is sort of a what you can use, and it will direct all that email back to your actual one without ever having to use it at all.
Yeah. That's super nice.
At all, yeah, and they'll do it for pretty much anyone. Now, obviously, you can't do it for YouTube because they will force you to use their thing.
Gmail. Yep.
Yeah, but other than that, it does work for many other sites. And then also another one is that sometimes companies that send out like demos or like gifts, certificates or whatnot, not like gifts, it was like coupons, whatever. They
Mhm.
do send trackers with those emails. And so what Proton does is it cleans those off those emails, so that way they
Nice.
can't come back, go after you, whatever. But again, you can go to that link in the description, whatever. You can check it out. They do offer a 30-day free guarantee, at least from what I saw. Um, Again, I'm not promoting it because there is a money thing to get out of it, but I'm not a good marketer, not a good seller, so I doubt I've made much. But the point of the matter is, I'm promoting a product I use, and because of like we're talking about with like the scammers and stuff now,
Mhm.
this is at least the best. They offer a free account. They offer a
Yes.
free account. You still get the same sort of thing, but there are higher tiers that do cost money. So again, if you want to check something out that's a little more helpful in those areas that I just mentioned, you can go there, check it out. Free, either get a free account or do the 30-day free, all that stuff. Neuro here, who's in the chat, who gave this up here, he has gone and done through it. And if Neuro wants to share the experience, he's more than welcome to. But I know there are other people who use it too. But again, I promote it because I use it, and also it's a product that I believe in, can do well. And at the end of the day, who wouldn't want a product that will help in protecting against all that sort of stuff? Because again, the internet, it's stuff's not 100%, but it's a whole lot better than have to get emails every day. It's like, would you like to buy this? Would you like to buy that? Like, so I'll tell you a recent event. I recently had gotten an email in my iCloud stuff, right? And the email was like I owed some toll money from I live in Indiana. So I
Mhm.
was like, I was getting some email stating from the Indiana revenue, whatever, like, yeah,
Yes.
I owe toll money. I'm
Yep.
like, something about that doesn't sit right. And so, of course, I use Claude to kind of like, can you go through this and see if there's a scam? It says yes, it's a scam. And so I reported the emails to the proper authorities. We'll see if anything happens. But ideally, if something is, again, if something doesn't feel right for you, off the buff. Oh, and there you go. So there's Neuro. He has an account. He got their unlimited plan, which allows you to use their VPN and all this sort of stuff. I'm just giving you a link to the mail one. But
Mhm.
like he's saying, fairly new to it, but he likes it. No spam yet. Seems pretty user friendly. There you go. He's
Nice.
experienced it to himself. Again, uh, yes, I will admit there is some monetary thing out of it, just depending on whatever. But I'm not gonna market or seller. I can't even sell Rumble Premium. But again,
Yeah.
that's on Rumble to try to improve their product in order for me to sell,
Yep.
rather than just like if you. I am not the guy from Wolf of Wall Street to try to sell somebody a product that is sort of working.
Yep.
I just don't have that capability. I don't have that kind of talent. Once Rumble gets up to par, Rumble Premium will be more people friendly to want to buy because hey, the platform's up to par, right? We
Yeah.
needs to be up to par.
For
Oh no.
me, I've been paying for Rumble Premium for a little while now, before the creator program,
Mm,
just because I wanted to get rid of those horrible ads, like
yeah,
the atrocious ads that Rumble has that are
yeah,
just mind-numbingly awful.
mm,
And in comparison to any of the other platforms, it is the cheaper of it to get
yeah,
100% ad free. I mean,
yep.
that's the only reason why I did it. Like, this was a year and a half before even. Uh, I got into streaming. I was like, I just get me out of these ads. I just nope. I'm good. I'll pay the $10 a month to get rid of those ads.
Well, and I was doing it when it was still part of that, like that pro plan thing, right? Like you remember,
Yes.
yeah, the pro plan
Yep.
thing, and then it became Rumble Premium, which I'm glad they got rid of that sort of thing. There's still higher tier stuff, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, but yeah, I think that's another issue too, I guess, for non-premium because where's the worth beyond the ad-free experience?
Yep. That's because that's all it really boils down to at this point. Right
Yeah.
now is just the ad-free experience, and you look at it on the creator side. Lumpy was talking about this before, like when he actually showed his ad revenue before premium came in, and his ad revenue was through the roof. But then when premium came in, it dropped off dramatically, obviously, because more and more users are going to premium for the ad free experience. But then we're losing as creators the ad revenue because of that. So there's got to be a give and take with that, I guess.
Mhm.
But it was interesting to see how that structure drastically changed within a few months of when they really truly incorporated that into Rumble itself.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I've already talked enough about the issues of Rumble.
Hmm.
But yeah, at the end of the day, um, it's just a lot of hoo-ha with all these platforms
Yep.
and the ridiculousness of it. But all right, I've used Proton for years. Well, glad you're using it for years. But yeah, I always try to say for like the Proton thing. I always try to say like the Billy Mays sort of thing. You remember? OxyClean here, Billy
Yep.
Mays here. Get the OxyClean. But he would. I think there was one point where he said, I wouldn't promote a product I didn't use. And
Yep.
I think that's where the defining line is. Is like you have a lot of people who promote products they don't even touch. Like I don't drink coffee, although I did do ad reads in the Rumble Studio a long time ago, but they're just
Mhm.
really not worth to do it anymore.
Yep.
Especially if you don't have the viewership. And I'm just like,
I haven't
okay,
touched ad reads yet. I not it's not that I don't want to. Again, it's just the viewership. Like, why am I going to take a few moments out of my time when I have 5 people in my stream right now? Like,
hola, cómo está?
but I'm the same way. Like I got one sponsorship through W Energy Drinks.
Mm,
This is not a plug for them, but I bought their product on my
mm,
own and
mm,
tried it out. And I liked what they stood for. Their drinks are fantastic, and so I applied for the sponsorship, and I still drink it and I still buy it.
mm,
But I think it pays more dividends when you can truthfully say that you use the product
yeah.
versus spitting some nonsense saying that you use the product and you actually don't. And like Razor, I randomly applied for Razor's sponsorship, and I got Razor right here, and
Yeah.
so I think it does help out more when you stand behind something that you actually use and stand and approve of.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's because you get a lot of people. That's another thing too. Is like with the whole, just in the content creator sphere alone. I get it. I get why people have merch store and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're making a business out of whatever. But I can't. I was once asked like, would you do a merch store? I was like, I don't even know what I'd sell. Like, I have a hat. I mean, I guess, but I can't. I can't bring myself to that precipice because it's not why I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice bonus.
Yes.
Monetary is a nice bonus, but I can't bring myself to that precipice. It's like, oh, I'm gonna start selling items, ho ho, all this stuff. Because it's like, what, what what is content creation if this is what it's become?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I toyed around with the idea of having, some hats and T-shirts up on a store for my channel, but
Mhm.
again, this is a hobby. I have a really good 9 to 5 job. I am not
Same.
leaving that job. It's
Yeah.
like this is not going to be my main source of income
Mhm.
to live off of and provide for my family.
Mm-mm.
So I only stream Saturdays and Sunday nights and some Mondays. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm here 7 days a week on screen streaming games. I just don't have that luxury. I have 2 young kids. I have a
Yeah.
family that I look after, and they come first.
I
So I mean, I get the fact of people selling stuff to try to make ends meet.
Mhm.
If they're big enough, right?
I think I don't have it in me
At
to
the end
try
of the
not.
day, they're shirts.
I don't have
Yeah,
I can write it down, but I don't have that kind of ability. Because it requires you have a business mindset, and I don't have a business mindset.
yeah,
I get to talk to people across the way. I get to have a conversation
yeah.
mindset. But I was about to say, you have 2 kids and you have that kind of beard. My gosh, man, who scared you half to death?
Yeah.
Um,
No, this is all Air Force.
oh,
All
good.
Air Force. No
Here you
hair,
go.
white hair.
Oh goodness,
And
I've
a
seen some.
9-year-old daughter. I think she's
Oh,
pulling out the
that's
last of my color in my beard.
that reminds me of that scene from Ghostbusters where uh, Ernie Hudson's character's like, "I've seen some stuff that'll scare you, what?"
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, that was such a good one. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not coming at people telling them they shouldn't do it or not. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
To
there's
each
a
their own.
yeah, teach their own, but it's sort of like it changes for me eternally. It changes what content creation is supposed to be, what I feel content creation is supposed to be about, and it's what YouTube was back in its heyday.
Mhm.
Right? YouTube was, you just upload a video. Sure, you may get a spotlight. Sure, like people would, enjoy getting all the views and stuff. But once money is added to it, what does it make content creation then?
Yeah.
What when all you're doing, when in some instance all you're doing is trying to appeal to the, oh, that's right, the word appeal. Jeez. Um all you're doing is appealing to the algorithm in order to be seen, in order to get the views, in order people to watch the ads, in order for you to get money. What does it become?
It's a job.
And that's the thing too, is like the
Yeah.
people who make this a full-time job, hats off to them for doing it. But it's like you traded one desk for another.
For another, yeah.
It's sort of a weird thing where it's like, oh, I can have my phone, I can do all this. Yeah, but majority of the time you're taking IRL streams and stuff out there, and you're just trading one. You're making your desk right here, and you're chained to it. You can't
Yeah.
walk away from it anymore. And people are like, and the other part is too, is like you have to keep making content in order to stay in the algorithm. You're not free.
No, and that's why I got off of YouTube, right? I having to create clips every single day and work a full-time job and take care of kids and my wife and have all that normal stuff, right? That's more important than putting a video out. I was just like, there's no way that I can build myself up on there the way that you need to live in the algorithm. You literally have to live in the algorithm,
Mhm,
and it took away the fun, right?
mhm,
Yeah, I like I said, I do this as a hobby.
mhm,
Yeah, I made some money in the creator program last month. Great.
mhm,
That's not my original intent, and I'm not here to make this my full time job. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, whether I have 3 people in chat or 100. It don't matter to me. I enjoy chatting like this, even on stream. When people are chatting in chat, it's
mhm.
fun. No, I
Hey.
want to keep it that way.
Look, I started with 0. I may end up with 0. So how's that for laughter?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I worked hard for my 3 people in the chat.
those 3 people were tough. One person made fun of me in chat.
Yeah.
Those monsters. But anyway, but yes, that's the whole. I'm just calling it as is. The whole of content creator, the content creator sphere, is for me is an amalgamation of high school drama, egoism, elitism, all the things you can think of. There's good to it. There is
Yep.
good to it. but it's shrouded in all the other stuff that just doesn't make sense. And it's not, and it shows it's not much has changed in life in general. It's just the internet
It
has
just
made
shifted.
yeah, it's just shifted, and the internet amplifies it.
Yep.
And I don't, and again, whether it be clickbait, whatever bait, it doesn't matter. I just can't play the game of what that is versus what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to reach all fields,
Yeah.
and it's not an easy gig. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the time at hand because one, like you, I have to get up in the morning,
I
and
get
I
up at
also
4 a.m. So
oh, that's that. I get up later, thank goodness, but it's still have to get up in the morning. But also that I do have to set up for tomorrow's stream too.
yeah, of
So
course.
there is that. But we will do a little wrap up after. Usually in the wrap up, I make some memes. So if you want to stay for that, you're welcome to. If not, that's okay too. But anyway, guys, before we go, we're gonna do our promotion stuff and then a few things after, and we'll go from there. So, gentlemen, if you don't mind taking the stage, it is your turn. You go ahead and promote yourself.
Oh, sorry. Like, all right. My name's Damysus. You can catch me on Rumble typically Saturdays and Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I do have a show that I'm starting to put together. I already have a couple episodes out on Monday mornings at 8 a.m. called Damy's Rage Quit Recap, which is focused around gaming on Rumble, kind of highlights over the weekend. We talk about some gaming news, and I take the time to pick a random creator, reach out to them, send them a couple questions. I put a clip montage together, and we chat about what their answers are to the questions. You can find me on X at the link below. I also have Twitch and YouTube, also on TikTok as well. So all my links are in the Linktree link that's on my X profile. So
There you go. I'll have to, I don't remember if I saw it or not, but I'll try to get that changed. But
yeah,
yeah, it's the and of course, thank you for that. I
yeah.
just pulled one from earlier. So
Yeah.
oh, there you go. Look, you get another one right there.
Awesome.
But yes, but again, like he said, his links are down below. Go and give him a look, and if he's worth the follow, why not?
Yeah.
Like
Appreciate it. Follows are great. It's free to do and it helps me out, and
Mm,
we'll rock and roll with that.
yeah, I don't tell people to follow because I really rather people's work speak for itself rather than just like tell. Because I've seen a lot of creators like
Oh, the
go
follow
follow,
trains.
yeah, go follow this person. Like, what does that do when they just follow because of you and they don't follow because of the person themselves?
Yeah, I've done that with a few people that I've been around with a long time. Like if there was one of the people I was following for a long time on YouTube, he came over to Rumble, and I was like, "This you gotta follow this guy. He's great at what he does, you know." But I'm selective. I don't just do the follow trains. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't do that ordeal. But you know what? If you have at least a squeaky opening, why
Yep,
not? Just
exactly.
just don't squeak loudy. But anyway, for squeak, 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 stop
Yeah.
it. But anyway, for my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or the YouTube side, doesn't matter which side you're on. Uh, hold on. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be. I mean, let's be honest here. It also helps in having other people on, like Damie, like Andy, and like and like Tomby, of course, like we mentioned earlier, and like so many other people. At the end of the day, I do this thing. Not just talking to people who are creators, but I talk to people who aren't creators as well. I've talked to VTubers. I've talked to a current and former military. I've talked to people who don't even show their face. At the end of the day, this is just a conversational show talking about whatever, and that's what I enjoy doing. It's opened. You begin to see a perspective more than your own that's so vast and wide that you ask yourself the real question: what are my thoughts truly? Like, biases and all our stuff. So there's that. But anyway, and of course I have a link down below, as Great Neuro has put up here. So you can go down there. You can find my Twitter X. You can find my email. You can also find my Discord thing, but it's mostly just for DMing. Don't have a server. Most likely we'll never have a server because there's just too much. It's just too much to do. So again, link down below. Appreciate that. Oh, I'll get that out there. And of course, like I said, I'm part of the partner program for the where was that for the Proton thing. It's up to you. go and check it out or don't. Uh, I just promote it because I believe in the product and I know what they're trying to do. So at the end of the day, up to you, but I promote it because I think it's worth it. So, and it may be helpful to you. Also, I am still running the surveys, both the creator and viewer. Certainly not a lot like last time. I know last time was like 50 questions each. So, again, these are living surveys. They are not stagnant. But at the end of the day, I think people are hitting that point to where they don't they're just fatigued by it, because I don't think doing it I after coming to this point, I don't think doing it monthly has shown to be of it's being great benefit in the visual aspect, but in people taking the responses, I don't think it's been too huge. And I can only promote it so much before it's just like gotta try something else. So again, they'll be down in the comment section down below. And of course, thank you, Nora, for your help in promoting these out. Again, they aren't as long as last time. They're probably 8 to 10 minutes for each for both. I did have tried to come down as best as possible, but I think coming in the following months, and at least at a certain point, you'll get these type of surveys again. But coming in the following months, they'll probably be like question of the month sort of ordeal, and because one question is better than no dozen others. So there's that. But again, links for the creator surveys in here, and of course in the comment section on the Rumble side alone. So again, whether you're a creator, whether you're a viewer, whether you see yourself as both, doesn't matter. What matters is that the feedback helps in giving people visual data back, because Rumble certainly isn't. They may give quarterly or whatnot, but you're not going to see like 90%, 60% said that they need this thing or that thing or whatever, which has been the sad part, because if they did, you wouldn't have someone like me trying to do it. So there's that. But again, tomorrow, for tomorrow's person, at 7 p.m. Eastern, I met this lovely lady through the guests I've had on, Sean from Third Relify, and Gina, of course, very lovely. Oh, Toasty, thank you. Well, thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Read.
But yeah, so this is Chaya is through them, and so come tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. She's a lovely lady. The first time ever talking to her, so let's see how this one rolls. Because you're gonna get surprised. At least I might get surprised. So there is that. But again, that is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So hope to see you all for that. And if not, well, you know what? I'm glad to have you here today. Of course, last thing I do with my guests, and yes, there is
Yes.
one more thing I do. I do the Steve Jobs thing. One more thing. But anyway, so a while back, I have this thing called Questions for Hat, and I bought quite a hat from Rumble, and I put
Mhm.
some questions inside. So how this works is that you, my guests, get 2 freebie questions. Now, obviously, I'm not monetized on the YouTube side. I do not have the things that they asked for to be monetized, so it is what it is. But on Rumble, I am monetized. So if you want more than the 2 pulled out, well, guess what? You have to give a Rumble for it. I don't care the amount. I've had people spam me the $1 before. At the end of the day, that's how the game works. So if you want more than 2, you got to give a Rumble rant for it. However, we'll get started with the first question. So let's see what the first question is. And the first question is right here is, what's a skill you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet?
Skill that I've always wanted to learn but haven't yet. It would be probably in the realm of metalworking. Again, like I mentioned early on, that I'm really into cars, but one thing that's always fascinated me was the ability to take a piece of sheet metal
Mm.
and shape it
Oh
and
yeah.
make it into something.
Mm.
Right, like especially in a car,
Mm.
you could have a 40-year-old car that's pit holed with rust everywhere, but being able to take a piece of sheet metal and shape it and mold it into the part that you need would be something I would definitely like to learn. I just never had the opportunity to do so.
Hey, you know what? They say you're never too old to learn new tricks. So there's
Yes.
that. Just don't accidentally cut a finger off. That's
No.
all. You know, that's when you know you're done.
Yep.
That'd
For
be the
sure.
worst. That'd be the worst part of it. All right. Question number 2. Unless someone gives a rumble rant, let's see what we'll get. Okay. I think I got one right here. Here's question number 2. Let's see what it says.
Let's roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I gotta unveil it from like the post-it note stickiness. Hold on here. Takes a moment. Oh, here we go. What does freedom of speech mean to you?
Freedom of speech. For me, being able to have an open and honest conversation without fear of what you say coming back to haunt you.
Mm,
Um, it comes with the good, the bad, the ugly, the hurtful. That's what free speech is, right?
mhm,
I, it doesn't matter to me what you say, right? Because I have my own convictions, I have my own beliefs, I know
mhm,
what I believe, but I also believe that the person who is speaking to me or just in general, they have the right to say whatever they want, whatever's on their mind, whether it's good, bad, ugly, if it's hurtful, if it's crap speech, like some really nasty stuff, it comes with it. But you got to have that ability to let people speak the way they want
mhm.
to have those honest conversations, because that's the only way you're going to move forward. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you're not wrong because I think people. I mean, there's some things where you don't want to speak. Some things you kind of try to avoid, like someone died or whatever.
Yep.
But there's also times where there needs to be an honest conversation because, like you said, how do you move forward if you can't be? And that's a lot of things too. Is like even with the content creators fair, there needs to be honest conversations, and there
Hmm.
needs to be people who are willing to at least sit down, not like jump out at each other in anger, but
Nope.
understand that there are things that need to stop being behind these sort of stupid closed door things. Like I've like there have been some guests I've had on here who've blocked me and they won't even tell me why.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like I thought we were cordial enough to be civil, and yet
Yeah.
somehow you let me
Well,
go. So
you also the other caveat to that is you don't allow for threats of violence. I mean,
yeah.
there is a fine line, right? There
Mhm.
is obviously a fine line of
Oh
what
yeah.
free speech is,
Mhm.
and if you cross over that, right?
Mhm.
You don't threaten anybody, you don't do any of that nonsense. You don't just stay away from the violence. Just
Mhm.
stay away from the violence and the threats of violence. It just doesn't do anybody good.
Mhm.
Um, and the fact that we can't even take a joke nowadays, you
Mhm.
know, it's just it's bothersome. We need to get back to being able to say what we want,
Mhm.
um, have those honest conversations like we're having tonight. I mean, this has been fantastic, right? We've been able to talk about anything. I mean, we were talking about Indian's butthole earlier.
The butthole of India, yeah.
Butthole of India. You got to be able to have those conversations. I mean, because it's what's so desperately needed nowadays. It's so desperately needed.
Well, and it's like I get people choose their niches and that's fine, but
Mhm.
I don't rely on the 24/7 news or the news of the day
Nope.
to do this thing because you do get a lot of the similarity between what used to be like the 24/7 news on the old media, whatever you want to call it, and now you're starting to see the up and coming of whatever this is. And now they're starting to be sort of become that sort of thing where just like
Mhm.
you read an article off of someone's work, you watch all the old stuff, old media or whatever you want to call them, and comment on that, and that's fine, commentary, whatever. But it's like not much is changing from what the new and old is,
No.
because you. Oh yeah, you're independent. That's great, but why am I seeing you like almost 24/7 just doing this thing here and there? And it's like the news there are some things that happen in the news today that are worth mentioning and stuff like that. Some very important stuff, like you hear about a earthquake in
Oh
some
yeah.
area and all that. Those things are important, especially when some people may not be able, like the Hurricane Helene.
Yes. And that's
Example.
unfortunate because that did not get any media attention. I
Yeah.
mean they're I mean it's an hour and a half drive from where I live, where North Carolina got struck, and I woke up the day after that passed through, and I couldn't drive up there just because of stuff that I had going on at home, but I wanted to just because it was so close. You know,
Yeah.
you know, if it didn't shift east like it did that night.
Oh, he'll be back. It's the 2-hour thing. He just has to refresh. There we go. He got back. Yep.
There we
There
go.
you go. Yep.
But you know, that got zero media attention.
Mhm.
North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee were like wiped off of the earth in a matter of hours.
Yep. Helena, her Mother Nature is no joke on that regard. Especially, well, the funniest thing is you have people who live in Tornado Valley,
Hmm.
and they keep coming back. I'm like, can we just build them in places that are not so bad
Well,
like that?
Florida's the same way with hurricanes.
Yeah,
You go there knowing that you could potentially face a hurricane.
yeah, that's
You know,
true. And Walt Disney World still stands.
still stands.
Some people like, yeah, that probably should end. Um, but well, the way they report it anyway. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
just I can't. I live in the Caribbean. Wow, that sucks. That gets
it's
hit a lot.
probably yeah, but it's probably absolutely stunning to live in the Caribbean. Not gonna
Same
lie.
thing. Yeah, same thing every year. Well, yeah, that's true. It does look absolutely stunning, but you're trading one stunning thing for another. It's like stunning beautiful and stunning disastrous. So
Yeah.
that's two stunnings. It's just so different. We 2017 Hurricane Maria. Wow.
Poof.
Oof, man, jeez. Feel fear on that one. Goodness sake. Um, but yeah, I didn't see a lot of other creators doing something. Now there are people I've met who've done sort of like the freeform factor, but it's sort of like it's mostly stays contained within the content creator sphere, and I'm like, I want to reach beyond that.
Yep.
I want to reach beyond because it's fine, it's great, it's fine. Few months without energy power, that sucks.
That's rough. I
That
couldn't even
does.
imagine.
Hmm. I'm trying not
I
to
can't even
because
get off of 3 hours without power with 2 kids at home. Like I
that's true too.
just I can imagine months.
Daddy's got 2 hamster wheels, kids. We're gonna start
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
Look, we need to power up Daddy's laptop, otherwise we're gonna be out of a home. So you need to start going. Come on, let's
Yeah.
go. But yeah, it's I'm glad to at least see that there are people who are doing some form of free faction. But if we're not reaching beyond, and then of course what I do is risk. I've had people on where it's been a bit of a challenge, like trying to draw water out of stone or whatever.
Yep.
But if you're not willing to reach across that way and at least willing to try, 6 months with about she's Louise,
Oof.
half a year. Good Lord, Wolf. God dang,
Yikes.
get some like well, we're live. That's the thing. There you go.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, build a bunker or something like that. Maybe they'll help. But it's just like I get the one challenge for me in doing this is the scheduling. That's the if someone was to ask me like um what is the most challenging thing for you is it's not like getting up every day or whatever because I have a 9 to 5 job too. It's the scheduling and scheduling
Yep.
is mostly because people either you're like one of those people like you have to have the numbers for it for even think about coming on your show and I've heard this too, like there's some content creators who you have to pay in order to come on your show. And that's just like, yeah, great.
You messaged me. I was like, shit, he wants me to come on the show. Sure, let's do it.
Yeah. I couldn't do that. Like I'm not gonna charge anyone for me asking on their show, but it's like you don't want to be in a position of where it's this. There was before we head out. Is there? Yes, there is an after show today. But we're getting there. So there was one show I was on. I'm not gonna name the show because they don't deserve any recognition whatsoever. There was one show I on. You too, BJ. You too. You have a good one, all right?
Have a good one.
But I was invited on. I was asked to be invited on. Like they had DM'd me or whatever, and it was a group. It was actually 2 guys, and I was on, and we talked about whatever. I think it was like like perspective on politics, whatever. And I thought everything was going fine, and then all of a sudden, I just I didn't know it was kicked off, but I got booted or whatever. Like they pretended it was a windstorm was blowing through, and it blew me away. And I was like, did something happen? What went wrong? Or whatever. And so I was trying to contact him or whatnot. And then I'm watching the stream. I go back to watch the stream, and they're basically coming back like a windstorm happened, and it was like, so I just got kicked off, and they weren't willing to. So it was disrespectful.
Yes.
And when I was out there inviting people on, they just come harass me, or whatever, because some of them were females I was inviting on, but and one of the things too is they were harassing someone I had to invite on who was a female from Alaska, and it's like, you guys are not worth interacting with at all. So I know the name, but I'm not even going to mention them because they haven't earned that. So it is what it is. But it's just like, those are the type of shows and type of people I don't want to be associated with, because I don't care about bad actors. No,
Yep.
forget bad actors. They're destroyers is what they
Yep.
are. They are destroyers, and I don't care to be associated with that, because destroyers only do one thing, and that's destroy. And they don't care who they destroy, as long as they get their feet of destroying. That's
100%.
all they care about. So forget about bad actors. I call them destroyers. And I've always been like, if you're respectful, that's fine. If you have a mic, that's fine. But if you're a destroyer, there are many other people you can destroy and all that stuff. So it is what it is. But yeah. And Abe says, I remember that. Yeah, it was not a fun time. But at the end of the day, I learned my lesson of like, you be careful of who you go on. But because of how busy I am, I don't really get asked on much. And also because majority of the time it's like topic centered. But
Yep.
at the end of the day, I can do them. It's just, my gosh, how restrictive is it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It can be very restrictive.
I do this thing, and I'm so Julie Andrews and The Sound of Music, and then I go on someone's show, and it's like what's a good comparison? It's sort of like what is it, Apocalypse Now or whatever it was,
Hmm.
where Ernie, what was it, Ernie, the guy who was like the military soldier yelling at them in one of the movies, is like Ernie Hudson, not Ernie Hudson. He was a very well-known person. He actually ended up doing a show about guns and stuff, of like tanks and different. I can't remember his name. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, drawing a blank myself.
but something like that, where it's very strict, and almost Mary Poppins. Yeah, almost. Not Mary Poppins was nicer though. But at the end of the day, it's just quite freeing to see if you give the person you have on a lot of space. It's sort of like watching a child in an open field and seeing what they'll do, where they'll go, and it's
Hmm.
sort of like, or a puppy or whatever you want to use. I don't, whatever you want to use. You just see where this person wants to go in an open field, and you get to see how well they handle it, or not. And you're not there to like embarrass them, whatever. You're just there to like, here's the soccer field, take 98% of the soccer field and just play.
Yep.
Just play. And that's what I enjoy doing. But anyway, that is the end of the show. Of course, there will
Awesome.
be an after show thing. I've already filled my requirement for the premium, but I do try to add that once in a while as like an extra tidbit,
Yep.
beyond the point. Because I do like that option to have, but it'd be nicer if everyone had that option to have instead of
Yes.
the creators, because YouTube has it for their
Hmm.
members, and that's a whole nother story. But anyway, again, thank you to all in the chat, and of
Thank
course,
you.
thank you,
Thank you, chat.
Damie.
Of course. Thank you,
Damie. every
Damie.
time every time I'm going to say that, I'm just going to hear "date me" at a certain point. But no, thank you for coming in. You're always welcome to come back, of course,
Of
always.
course, I would definitely love an invite back. This was a good time. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh, gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. Inspect. Console. Framework. Okay. Bye. All right, I'm back. I was away for a little while. I had to do a little picture taking because, good lord, is it a mess? Oh, and thank you, whiskey. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, the whole thing came up, and I'm gonna be writing a really interesting email later. Thank you, whiskey. But yeah, that was just it's like you said, when stuff like that happens, the best thing to do when stuff like goes down with technical stuff, always take pictures, always take video.
Yep.
It cuts through having to write an essay. So
Yes,
hey,
that
thank you.
helps.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Till death. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You're one of a kind. How to see Jesus. Hey, oh, hey, Abe. Yeah, I had on Till Death podcast. I've had him on too. He's a really great guy.
Awesome.
He's also on the YouTube side as well.
Cool.
But yeah. But anyway, that is the end of the show. And of course, if you are a Rumble Premium user, stay for the wrap up. We'll get to make some memes together. So if you like to have a helping hand in that, guess what? You do. So stay for that. But also, if not, don't worry about it. You still get you still get the full show. Oh, go ahead.
4 a.m. comes awfully quick right now, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
go,
no worries about it. No
go
worries.
chill.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I thank you all the same, guest and chat. And of course,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And of course, I end the show, of course, like with the music video you saw earlier, with One Day With You by Pogo. And again, I shall see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern with Chaya. So look out for that as well. And again, wrap up after this. Until then, guys, bye.
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.